Hello! We're back! It's session 13 of Adventures in Aanthara, and it is Halloween!
Wink, wink.
The most
did it.
winks.
Yeah.
100%.
It's definitely Halloween.
But it's as close to Halloween as we got a session, so we're all dressed up kind of mostly. Let's go around the circle and explain for those who don't know what's happening, since some of us are clearly less obviously something recognizable. Who wants to go first? Brian, you go first.
I don't know what I am, Matt. I have a
Seems
hood,
legit.
black eyes, and
Brian,
feathers.
Brian,
I'm a shimmy feather.
You are a cultist of our Lord Valstrax.
Oh,
That's what I was
What
going for, but I couldn't
Wait,
find
no,
my
no.
red shirt.
There's no silver.
couldn't
I
find
see
the
no
red.
silver. This
Yeah.
is more a
You know you look like
cultist.
Peter Jackson when he's on the pirate ship. And
Oh,
like,
true!
That's what you look like right now.
The
I
pirate.
I got from Selena that I was like Medivh from World of Warcraft.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
Yes, you
the
are.
feathers don't show up, but I'm gonna be doing this.
I agree. It's definitely like a Vax vibe.
Yes.
Yeah, it is
yes,
very
yes.
vaxy. All right,
Yeah.
I'm going to go clockwise from there, so that's Leah. Well, on my screen, it's Leah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is on that screen,
Yeah.
too.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like I set
I'm
this up this
Mabel
way.
Pines from Gravity Falls.
Oh.
Yay.
And Jess, we partnered.
Oh, yeah, we'll break the circle to go over to Jess, because
It's
it's a
fine.
duo.
And I am Wendy from Gravity Falls. We lack a dipper. We're still looking for him. He's out there somewhere.
Somebody get Nico, quick.
God damn it.
I will go next. I am dressed as Sam Riegel, dressing as Burt Reynolds playing Smokey and the Bandit from 3 seasons of Critical Role, which is a very, very inside joke, but most of us get it, so it works.
That's
Meg.
I'm Sally
No.
from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yep.
Beautiful.
I'm blue.
Dabba
And
dabba
dabba
da.
And Sean is himself.
I
It's
am
best,
the
yeah.
most terrifying eldritch horror I know, so it worked out.
I think in
Yes.
terms of accuracy, Sean wins.
Yes.
True.
I would argue probably, yeah.
All right. Now it is Friday, episode 13, and Halloween, kind of. So we can start. Recapping where we've been, the group made its way up to from Proward to Sawfeld, and has been investigating a whole bunch of happenings, including a couple missing children, some Blightling tracks that seem to go from the lake to an undisclosed meeting spot on the side of the road, met up with some other tracks that they have not yet fully identified, and are trying to figure out that mystery, while, in the meantime, apparently, a couple of dual assassinations occurred far off in capital cities elsewhere in Aanthara, but the news traveled quickly to the town of Sawfeld, and they came into contact with a number of people involved in the investigation of what has happened, including a monk of the Shaded Wind named Rylus, who they spoke to at length, and who is potentially going to help them both transfer some oil down to Mother Mia in Proward, and also maybe look into some of the other weird things that have happened around these Blightlings situations. And I don't know really what they want to do or what's happening next. So that's where we pick up. What would you all like to do?
Is this the morning after? Or did
true.
we just have that conversation?
Is
No.
it the same?
This is the evening.
Oh.
It's the evening. Rylus has walked off. You guys certainly are welcome to go to sleep and plan in the morning, but we're picking up in the evening.
I mean, I'm probably hanging out with Fennel for the evening. That's probably what I'm going to be doing.
Yes. Yes.
Or, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have that
Um,
conversation later, DM.
Okay.
Yep.
T.
T.
What are other people doing?
Glaring from across the bar.
Get absolutely dunked on, though. Like, honestly.
I'll take the L. It's fine. Are we in which pub are we in? We're in the quiet one, right?
Yeah, you're in the Toasted Froth Tavern.
Is it busy?
It is more or less. Well, actually, it's probably a little less busy than it has been in previous nights because more people, you would figure, are staying in their homes amidst all the
Forget
whatever is
about this.
happening. There's a bunch
Your
of
dad-
soldiers in town. There's a lot of
Yikes.
weird news going down, so people might be a little bit concerned. You have not yet heard anything about an official curfew, which you had talked to the mayor about potentially installing, Mayor Hartford.
Where are you guys? The others.
Everyone was at the table, so it's up to
Yeah,
everyone else
I
where
think
they're
I
going
guess
to go.
I'm still there processing. To be
Probably
completely
at the
honest.
table,
This is-
looking at the map because I've never like.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we're
fascinated
showing,
with
we're
the map.
showing right
we
wing
got
where
a
stuff is.
Big map.
Oh, should I put you on the map? Are you doing something with the
yeah,
map, or you just?
No, we're just looking at it.
Just
Showing
looking
right
at
wing
it.
what's up on
I'll
the
put
map.
you on the map anyways.
Oh,
We
hell
just
yeah,
like to
let's
see it.
go.
Yeah.
I just think it's neat.
It's just real neat.
Would
Yeah.
anyone be at all interested in trying to get ahead of this a little bit? I was thinking of running down to the notes, the Driftwolf quarter, and trying to find old Jed, because he seemed to be the one to ask about topography in the area, if we were going to look specifically for any kind of a cave system.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
I feel like if he frequents pubs, that's where we found him last time, this might be a good time of day to find him.
Yeah, I mean, given what happened today, it's yeah, we can definitely go check. Now that we have something else to ask him besides the kids that we were looking for.
Yeah.
Which you had talked to him about previously. He didn't seem to know too much.
Yeah.
Found what everyone else knows.
I guess the real question is what are we asking him about this time?
Well, I think the concern was to find information about nearby cave systems. If we are looking to get to the Blightlings, then we need to find where that they're located.
Mm-mm.
It's very possible that they're miles downriver, days downriver. You don't know.
We could ask and see if there's any, I mean, that bar that I was in that night was a lot of fun. There seemed to be a lot of seafaring folk there. It might be worth seeing if, well, riverfaring, I guess, but it might be worth seeing if any of them frequently travel up or down river and have seen anything that would, I mean, these guys know. The ones that travel rivers like this know it, and they would know something strange, so perhaps they've seen, like, dead foliage recently.
Or it is a fishing town. Maybe some previous prime fishing locations have become
Mm-hmm.
a bit more dry.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth asking.
Is that what we're concerned with? Are we trying to find the Blightlings in this area, then? Is that our top priority?
What's that, trying to go... We had talked about going up towards Greygrove as well, to see if anything was up there, but, I mean, this whole political mumbo-jumbo, I mean, gosh, that's just so over our heads.
Hmm.
I feel like this is something that we can do something about. And it's directly affecting these people. It would be one fewer thing for them to worry about.
And we already had a plan for the oil, right? We were gonna send that out
Well, we
with
gave
different people.
2 to the monk, and I think the other 3 was to the mayor? Through a courier?
He was going to
Yep.
get us a courier.
Okay. Well, we have that figured out. I mean, I think the blight's really all we can focus on. It's what we were focusing on. At least until something more relevant comes up with the political situation. Again, there's not really much we can do right now with that.
Mhm.
Would it be more advantageous to find where they are coming from as a source from all the attacks?
I think that's the idea of it possibly being linked to Raygrove. They're both Sawfeld and Proward are downriver from the Raygrove wetlands. So if they are using the waterways to travel, that could be where they're coming from within the mountains.
Or someone could be depositing them in the
It's-
mountains.
It's the other.
Which would help if we asked the river folk, because they might know. Or
But in
seen
that
somebody.
same merit, if any of them... We're getting into conspiracy theories and talking about how major espionage and assassinations are being referred to something that is involved with child abduction. We might
Why
want
are
to
you
take...
repeating yourself?
Quieter. I realize I'm speaking
Yeah,
too
it's-
loud. I'm sorry.
Oh.
The pitch is just.
Yeah. It's possible, in that regard, with the realm of conspiracy, that people here are in on it. So, another thing to
Yeah,
consider.
we're gonna need to be really careful about that. line of
That's-
questioning, then.
Heavy.
Hmm.
Ooh.
I think speaking
So-
with old Jed would be a good idea. At least getting some information about nearby cave systems would be some kind of a lead, and if he doesn't have any, then we're dry.
I think then we could start resorting to asking people about the dead foliage. And even then, that's a dangerous question, but it's also not too far out there.
But also, it's not much of a secret. Like, our task here isn't much of a secret. People know that we're here looking for the Blightlings. So I feel like questions like that, and perhaps even just higher ups, but like it wouldn't. I don't know that it would lead to more.
That's what I mean. Like, if we stick to what we've been doing and just asking, the same kind of questions we've been asking anyway, I don't think we're going to run into much issue with that. It's when we start, prying on people being involved with it. Because who knows, people might have left by the time we were out there looking for other things.
Sure.
If we wanted to get a head up on the mare as well, we could stop by the nearby farms and see if they've noticed any of the dead foliage in their pastures. That's where the animals had been getting sick, at least. Maybe that's
I
one for
wanted to
tomorrow.
go there anyway to see if I could help.
I think that's a solid. So let's go ask old Jed. I think doing that tonight's a good idea. Just because, people are going to be in the bars right now trying to cope with all the news. Or gossiping.
They go to bars to cope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Finding the answers to all of your questions at the bottom of a bottle.
Looks at her own drink. It's just a bottom.
Yep.
Most others don't find it there either.
All right.
Okay. So you guys want to head out.
Yes.
All right. Age, when are you staying?
Yeah, I'm sort of going over everything that I'm looking to accomplish. I'm DMing you literally right now with everything.
Got it. All right. The rest of you want to head down to the Drift Wharf Quarter
Mm-hmm.
or that direction, okay? You make your way out of the toasted froth and towards the lake. And as you go, you see still posted around town. When you initially saw them kind of in the square, it was arrived and getting sort of sorted, but now posted throughout town, these armored individuals, soldiers from the capital or the capital's military, not typical in this part of the city or in this part of Kathos. So you see them all around town, really, and definitely less people walking about than normal. But still people walking around every now and again. It's not like it's a ghost town. You want to head to the Drift Wharf Quarter, or do you want to stop in the hills and do anything?
Because
Hills
it's
are where the
evening, right?
farms
It's
are.
pretty late evening, yes.
Yeah, let's try the farms in the morning.
Mhm.
I think sticking to the taverns tonight's a better idea. It's more immediate.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Make your way down to the Drift Wharf Quarter. Where do you want to go? Or are you looking for someone in particular?
Where was that restaurant with the food that we had seen?
Was the
the map
kicking
before?
craw.
There.
Yes, Luna, they're feathers. Ow. 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 Let
I
go.
feel like you brought that on yourself.
Yeah, I did.
You're a
Yeah.
walking toy.
Sorry.
Okay. You head down to the Kick and Crawl. All right.
Yeah.
You make your way to that same location, and as you saw before, you see a very large turtle sitting in a chair out front. Large brimmed sort of fisherman's hat covering his face, head down, little tufts of smoke coming out in front. This guy you know to be Old Jed.
How's it going, Jed? How was dinner? Lunch, actually.
Oh,
Oh yeah, this was the thing.
he's. Hmm.
Right when you wake him up, he had least scary.
Okay. Tap, tap, tap. Excuse me.
That'd be important.
I think it's important.
Looks up finally. I don't remember you. Do I know your name?
Did I meet Old Chad?
Yes, I believe you were there and met him in passing.
I don't know if I introduced myself, but I am Brightwing. You are the Old Jed, right?
I'm Old Jed, yeah. That's what they call me.
You might know my friends.
Looks over your shoulder. Well, it looks a little familiar, yeah. Yeah, but you said it was something important.
Yes. We are trying to track some creatures, and we were wondering, do you know of any river paths, inner caves up into the mountains up the river?
Caves? Or
Yes.
rivers? The river goes up to the mountains just fine. Is that what you want?
Am I asking this question right?
Any cave systems further downriver that you're aware of, or maybe even word of fishing holes that have gone dry?
Cave systems, I don't know much about that. Not many people go diving in the lake. We go fishing in the lake. But the fishing, if that's what you're asking about. Hell, it's been maybe a week. We've got reports of people gone fishing upriver. Seems not going well. Not fish not biting or already dead even. All things. Floating on the water. Not good for eating them.
Is this a localized phenomenon?
Localized? I don't know. We don't go that far upriver when we go fishing upriver, but when we go fishing upriver, we usually catch fish upriver. And it ain't been happening.
That might be what
Been
we're looking
weird.
for.
Hasn't affected lake fishing yet that I know, but some people like the river fishing better. And it's been I guess you could call it dry, but that's an odd word for something that happens in the water.
Something wet.
Indeed.
Do you go fishing, Jed?
Oh, not for several decades.
What would have been your second favorite fishing spot? I'll leave the first one to you if you ever tried to go back again.
Maybe 2/3 way round lake clockwise. There's some sort of an inlet. A lot of reeds and things. Water's calm. It's a pretty good spot. You trying to get some fishing done?
Something like that. A little bit bigger.
Well, you can always ask people to go fishing still. Maybe there's new spots, I don't know. Or maybe they'll just do it for you, unless they're doing it for the fun of it and not for the eating of it.
Good note.
That's about all I know.
I'll take out 3 silver, and I'll flip them up in the air, and I'll catch them with a mage hand, and bring it over to him.
He kind of, again, you can't really see when he squints or doesn't squint because his eyes are so wrinkled shut, but he kind of eyes it carefully, puts his hand out, pats upwards through the hand from the bottom, and the money appears in his hand. That's mighty curious.
You're mighty curious, Jed.
Well, I was a lot more mighty curious in my younger years, I'll tell you what. But I appreciate it. If you need anything else, don't go far.
Do you
You
know
seem very
anyone?
fascinating.
What's that now? Everybody talking at once.
I'm sorry. You may go.
I was just wondering if you knew anyone in the area that has. You said you've heard stories of the fishing going bad. Is there someone that you think might be willing to give us more accurate directions to that has been up there recently? Someone you could turn us toward?
I can't right remember any names, but it's been multiple fishers, I'll tell you that.
Do they stay
Just about
in
everybody.
this area?
Oh, probably, yeah. Most of them stay on the dock somewhere. If you want to rent a canoe or something to go up that way, it's not hard to do that either.
That's certainly a good thought.
Well, I think that's all I had.
Yes. Hey Matt, is there like in my home? I'm assuming like smoking's probably like a thing that people do. Is there like a certain like thing that they smoke that I could make with Druidcraft?
Like a leaf?
Like a leaf or something.
Interesting.
Like
Yeah, I would say
like a certain leaf.
I would say there's a few different plants that likely would be smoked by the Koya, and you could probably make any one of them. Probably there would be something more tobacco leafy, and then there'd probably be something more intoxicating. So up to you which direction you'd want to go.
I think I'll do more of a mild tobacco, and I'll like just kind of think about it, and then it happens, and I'm surprised by it because I'm still not used to this. And I'm like, my people, I do not particularly do it, but these are what we like. Would you like to try?
Curious.
They're very nutty, I'm sort of, from what I am told.
He reaches out and takes it, kind of crumbles a little bit and sniffs it. Certainly wouldn't mind trying it. Where'd you say this is from now?
That's curious. This is from me, but this is from the Stygian forest. I said it Stygian Forest. God forget. A Stygian Forest.
That's a long way away.
It's not very close, no.
Well, I appreciate it. I'll let you know how it is.
Please, I don't really do it, so I would be curious what your thoughts are.
Do you want to try? He holds his pipe up towards you.
Roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
Will Brightwing give in to the peer pressure of
Oh
smoking
my
tobacco?
God, I love
Find
it.
out on this episode of Anthara.
13.
First it was alcohol.
I'm gonna do a
Oh,
wisdom
shit,
check for her.
Dude, we're the worst crowd.
We're
I love that
really
none of
bad.
us are reaching out to stop her either.
By the end of the month, she's gonna have a tattoo.
Oh
Yep.
shit!
She already has tattoos.
No,
it's
it's
true.
like a really
Oh,
gnarly
yeah.
face tattoo.
That was
you
the
know?
face tattoo,
beginning.
There you go.
Bubba.
I rolled a wisdom check and I got a 21. So
Oh my.
Yeah.
Nope, she resists.
I would have passed, but I appreciate your offer and sharing.
Well, more for me then, I guess. Good luck to y'all now. Whatever y'all doing. What are y'all doing here, by the way? Just fishing. You're an odd-looking bunch for fishers.
I am actually a very poor fisherman.
Trying to get her some practice.
I've been on boats.
Well, mighty convincing. Good luck with that, then. Tips his hat
Just
down.
Does he fall asleep immediately, kind of a thing?
God, I hope so.
Pretty much, as
Yeah.
far as you can tell. It's hard to tell the difference between when he's sleeping or awake, to be honest.
Oh, he's dead.
Oh
no.
god, don't do that. No. He breathes loud enough, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was helpful.
Should we get boat then?
I think we need to find out where exactly this is happening first.
Yeah, I wonder if anyone's still down by the docks. Might be worth going and seeing if any of the crew are still down around the boats.
Let's go.
Okay. You just head to the end of a dock.
I would look for like ones that seem active or that seem like they're like ships are coming and going or would have recently come in. If there's anyone still like pulling in sail or anything like that.
Okay. You eventually, heading down towards the end of that dock, you eventually find someone who's kind of, it seems like maybe recently docked, circling up ropes, moving things off, general edge of the dock, boat lashing sorts of things. Looks to be human, male, kind of red hair, freckles, maybe in his 30s.
Excuse me.
Oi!
Hi. We're doing a little bit of biology research. We was wondering if you and your crew had taken any recent trips further up the river? Up or down? Down?
Up the river.
Well, which one is it then?
Which one?
Up the river. Well, I don't have a crew. It's just me. But, yeah, I've tried doing a bit of fishing up the river recently. Hasn't gone too well, so I've kind of given up on it for now.
We'd heard
Seasons get
rumors.
weird.
We were hoping perhaps to hear a little bit more about that. Have you seen dead fish in the water?
I have. It's very odd.
Yeah.
Sometimes things like that happen, you know, sudden changes in temperature and things like that, I suppose, but it was a bit off-putting, to be perfectly honest, and the fishing did not go well, and this has been, I don't know, a few days of this now.
Was it off-putting enough for it to stick in your memory where exactly that happened?
Where exactly that happened? Must have been not more than a quarter mile upstream, off the edge of the lake, I'd assume. I've heard rumors from a few others. It's been like that quite a bit of ways up the river, though.
Hmm.
Some even in the mouth of the lake, where it hits the river, but I haven't seen that myself.
How far up do you usually get?
Usually not more than a quarter mile, half mile. It's plenty of good spots usually, just not recently for some reason.
What do you usually fish for?
Oh, all kinds of things. Bass, trout, whatever's
Catfish?
biting. Oh yeah, catfish up the rivers.
Do you know any places that are like particularly rocky or have caves or anything like that that would be where they might hide out?
Rockier caves. Can't say that I do. I mean, a lot of ways up the river sort of becomes a bit of valley-ish. Cliffs on the side and things like that. I don't know if that's what you mean.
How far up is that, sorry?
Oh, that's a ways up. Maybe day's travel.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your time. We're not quite sure what we're looking for. We're just trying to make sure we've got all the information before we decide what it is we're looking for.
You're just trying to find a good place to fish?
Not at all, actually. We've been hired by the mayor to take care of a little bit of a pest problem, but it may be causing these changes in the fishing.
He kind of looks around briefly. You, talking about the creatures people been talking about?
Have you seen them?
No, I assume they're not real, but kids, I don't know, something about kids making up rumors about little creatures. That's what I've heard, at
Kids?
least.
What have you...
What
What
have
have you heard?
kids been saying?
Well, I haven't heard it from anyone myself, but it's just something been going around the docks. Kids been spreading rumors about monsters and things. Usually, you know, the kids and the imaginations, nobody takes heed, but supposedly it's been I've heard enough times, I suppose, that the kooky a lot seem to buy into it. I'm not in that lot, mind you, but
The who?
the kooky a lot. You know, the people who buy into all kinds of weird
Kookia.
mumbo
Okay,
jumbo.
okay.
Kukia?
Kooky, aye.
The weirder
Kooky
folk.
is another word for eccentric.
It's one way. It's a way of putting it nicely, I suppose. A little touched in the mind, if you ask me. Believing in ghosts and hobgoblin thingies and whatnot.
Kind of
Don't
like
really see
wave
that
at right
stuff
wing
around
like a
here.
not now kind of motion. Just like a
Ghosts are real.
We're not now.
Spirits,
Right.
I should say.
Anyways,
Anyway,
You see any of those kids around here? We might. I mean, every rumor starts with a little nugget of truth, right?
I suppose so. I imagine they've just been seeing a coyote or something like that. I don't know where any of them are, no. I don't generally have conversations with kids about
Valid.
strange monsters.
Yeah, they are their own monsters.
Aye.
Kids have excellent conversations.
Hmm.
all right. Thank you for your time. We will keep this in mind. Do you know anybody specifically who you think would believe such a thing?
Well, I don't know that I do by name. I don't really run in those circles, but the lower you go on the docks, I will say, usually the kookier people get. So if you're looking for someone in particular, I suppose that's the way you'd want to go. Don't know why you'd want to do that, though.
Are there any kind of public houses or anything down there where people might gather?
Public houses?
Like a pub?
Oh, pubs. Aye. There's the Bigger Fish is a bar down there. If you wanted to, you looking for drinks, or you're looking for a place to stay, or you're just looking for someone to talk.
I'm looking for where people who want to drink gather.
Ah, Right, that's the bigger fish, most likely.
All right.
Cool.
I'll pull
Guess
2
we have
silver
our
out
next
and hand it to him. Thank you for your time and for the information.
He kind of eyes it, somewhat surprised, maybe. I certainly. Definitely come by if you need fishing advice again.
Do you offer tours?
Yeah.
Do I offer tours?
Yeah, say somebody wanted to try their hand at fishing. Are you for hire?
He looks back at the coins. Yeah. Certainly I could do that.
We're gonna
course.
get this man killed. Mm,
We'll think on it.
Fair enough.
Where could we find you if we decided to do something like that? Here?
Here, if you come at the right time of morning or the right time of evening, at least.
Your name?
Alan.
Alan. What's your ship's name?
We don't give our ships names usually.
Oh,
You
that's
don't
bad
name your
luck.
ship.
People get attached if you name them.
She needs a name. They behave a lot better with names.
how big is the ship? How big is this?
I
Is
am
it like
Very
a
small.
dinky little riverboat?
Yes, like closer to a rowboat than a full sailboat.
Like a speedboat size. Yeah.
You get it?
It's not even a sloop. Let's go.
My wife might get jealous if I named the boat.
Yeah, you don't want to cross those two things.
Perhaps you'd try harder at home in that case.
Maybe,
Wow, I walk
maybe-
away immediately.
Shot.
Conversation has left me. I'm out.
You could name it after her, and then she'd have nothing to be mad about.
Let's say more about it.
That's an idea, suppose. You are an odd bunch.
Eccentric.
You're like the second person in an hour to tell us that.
Right, not too surprised. Well, have a good one, I suppose.
Thank you, Alan. And I walk away.
Okay.
What is biology?
Huh?
True.
Biology?
You said we are doing research for biology.
Yeah, it's the study of life. The scientific study of life.
You
You don't have
study lab.
school.
We have teachings.
It's a way of researching a creature or a plant and it has different fields. You have marine biology, which is water things. You have plant one. There's entomology. That's another one that's bugs, if I remember right.
I think so.
Yeah, you kind of split it up, but biology is like the whole spectrum.
All of it. The world. The natural things.
It's how we understand things better.
Because most of us can't talk to them to ask.
Facts.
Although
Have
we
you
get
ever
the
tried?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
have.
mean,
it doesn't work well.
to be fair, anyone can talk to them. They just don't usually talk back. Unless you've had a lot of alcohol.
Some of my people can talk to the plants.
Do they have a lot to say?
My father said that there was this one tree that was very stubborn.
That seems like a trait a tree would have, yeah. That tracks.
I mean, they're very rooted in their ways, and I walk away faster.
Oh.
Probably
Bad.
an audible
bad.
guffaw from Yasnip in that moment.
I think Brightwing takes 2 seconds
Grown.
and then thinks about it. And it was like, that is very funny because they have roots.
Just like,
Yep.
Oh dear.
It's like, I'm sorry, it was too easy. Anyways, we should get back on the mission. Alright.
are we going to the bigger fish, or do you want to go back in and check in on our little friend?
He's not very little.
I,
Damn, alright.
And is he a friend?
Is he? Both of those things were meant to be sarcastic, so I really am not sure.
I don't know where this conversation has gone. I mean, we can. I think
Eadwin.
he had.
Shall we
he
go
had-
check in on Eadwin? Or
I think
shall
he
we
has
go
some
to the bigger fish?
reasons. I don't think he wanted to come down here, so we should probably take care of everything here first, and then go back. That way we don't have to worry about forcing him to come here when he doesn't want to.
A bit preoccupied, it seemed.
Yeah.
Seemed kind of triggered last time, so I think maybe it's best that we just do it.
Yeah. We should just knock it out. That way he doesn't have to.
I mean, now's the time of night for it.
Yeah,
Is
that's
it like 9 or 10? How late are we talking?
Yes, what time is it?
I look at my clock, it says...
It says
That
8:47.
would be 8:47.
That is.
We have some time.
I always am amazed by your little device. It is very, very, very ingenious.
Right Wing, you have one too.
We got one with the.
You told me the moon and the stars are not as accurate.
Well,
I mean,
it is right now. It's synchronized with... I'm talking of the... When we get back, we'll look inside your dagger.
Ah.
Oh, I forgot. I don't know what you're talking about.
yep, you may or may not have a watch. Anyways,
I have a watch. That's right.
yes.
Access to a watch.
Yep.
I understand now.
Hmm.
Alright,
We're having a
okay. Moving on.
Moving on.
If you guys are gonna go to the bigger fish, I might just take a walk down to the water for a moment.
Okay.
Probably meet up with you back at the tavern.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm
Wander
good.
too far.
No, I'm
Okay.
I'm not going far.
Are you sure?
Get in touch if you need something.
It'll be good. If anything, I'll swing by a bigger fish, and if you're still there, I'll speak with you then.
Who has the earring right now? Is it still me and
Me.
it's me?
You too.
Okay. I'm gonna give it to you.
Cool.
There you go. Just in
Awesome.
case.
What's
My
the range
earring
on
out.
those?
Pop mine back in.
I know we did a
Where's mine?
test on those earrings.
Hang
we
on,
figure
I
out the
have it
range?
somewhere. Give me a moment.
I want to say it's
Where
like
the
150 or 250, but it's on the item. So if
And
you
it
check.
was called a
Earring
Earring
of
of
Whispers. So if you,
Earring
yeah,
of
you should go-
Whisper.
250.
250 feet of communication.
not super far, but I don't intend to go far.
It's more of a just in case measure,
Ah,
especially when
got
we
it.
get separated.
You could also just scream really loud.
Let's not stress everybody out. But yes, if you are in that much trouble, please just scream.
Will do.
Alright. We will leave you to your wolf.
As we're walking away, I'll be
Does-
like, are you okay?
You hear in your ear, Brightwing.
I don't respond.
Everyone's gonna have anxiety.
did. Yeah. Alright. Is the bigger fish difficult to locate?
No. If at the very worst, you could ask a couple people as you make your way down walking, but it's also relatively easy to find. Appears to be more or less the dive bar of the Drift Wharf. Very, like, relaxed dive bar-y atmosphere. A few people in there, not super busy. You see a pair of turtles that appear to be playing some sort of game where they're sliding something along a board on the far wall, and a barkeep behind the bar to the right.
Is there anyone who looks aquatic in nature? Or like they spend their life in that area?
Is it table shuffleboard?
Yes,
Yeah,
it does
it's
appear to be shuffleboard of
Sand?
some kind
Table shuffleboard.
Now let's
Yeah.
go.
against the far wall. As far as aquatic people, I mean, most of the people who you've seen on the Drift Wharf Quarter in general look like they probably know how to handle a boat and go out on the lake and or river. So I would say most of the people in here, the lady behind the bar, who appears to be the proprietor of this bar or the barkeep, it looks to be a Genasi woman
Ooh.
with aquamarine skin. So I guess she looks watery in a different way. Can I get you something?
I'll get us around. What do you guys want?
What was the local favorite? Is that a? I don't know.
Are you asking me that or her?
Yeah, just in general. Have we already tried something like that?
We
You
had
tried
the
butter
butterbeer.
ale.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
in toasted froth, but this maybe doesn't look like the
This-
place where they
no.
go that route.
No.
R.I.P. Butterbeer.
It's too childish for this place.
Oh,
Never.
never.
Whatever's on tap, I guess. Sorry, I typically don't order stuff like this.
You want some just a beer or something?
That'd be perfect. Yeah.
A whole round for all of you.
Yeah, 3 beers.
All right. And you guys head over to the bar, or do you want to grab a table somewhere?
Can we get a table in like the middle of the room?
Okay.
Kind of like
Sure.
equidistant from all the noise. See if we can't hear
Yeah,
them.
just to listen and watch.
Eventually, the Genasi woman comes over to your table, and when you get closer, or when she gets closer, you see, like I said, aquamarine skin, long, thick, wavy white hair with like braids in the front, and white tattoos that are both up around her brow and then over her like shoulders, collarbone, and chest, down the V of this sort of loose white shirt that's kind of cropped, and then these sort of high brown pants, high-waisted brown pants. And most notably, when she gets over to you, what appears to be a double-strapped leather holster that's on her torso with a pair of sheathed daggers on either side, like of her ribs.
Okay.
Very
Not mess around.
attractive.
Cool.
Typically attractive, if you will.
Alright.
Are you new to the area? You seem from out of town.
Yes. How did you... What gave us away?
She looks very specifically at Brightwing,
Well, there's the.
and then at Eclipse.
there's-
You do not dress like most people from town, among other things.
Yeah.
You here on pleasure or business?
Mostly the business, but I promise we're not going to start something. Not here to cause
Alright.
trouble.
Of course, if you need anything, let me know. My name is Raisha.
Raisha. I'll nod at her daggers and say, do you have much cause to use those here?
Most commonly, because I wear them, no. But every once in a while, somebody gets a little bit, well, I put them in their place if they do.
I can imagine. Well, thank you, Raisha. I appreciate it.
Of course.
What's the cost?
Oh, just a copper each?
I'll give her 5.
Thank you. She heads back. And I will say, being in the middle of the room, you can see a little clearer. The shuffleboard, the 2 turtles playing on the shuffleboard, appear to be using small, empty turtle shells of some kind.
Oh no! Damn. Oof.
I don't know how I
Alright.
feel about that.
Buddy.
Oh,
Did you say
okay.
something?
Nope.
I
Okay.
just
Yes,
said to
bud.
Buddy,
Oh, no,
acknowledging the
my
void.
The void flover.
Mm.
No.
Can we just, like, pantomime conversation for a few minutes and just listen to, just for a few moments and just kind of listen to be around us, and I'm listening not for words, but for like tones of voice.
Hmm.
So like hushed whispers, any like sounds of like stress or anything like that,
Okay.
or like somebody even like somebody that might be a few cups in that's like sounds like you may be telling some kind of a tall tale.
Okay. I will say roll a insight check. Just to see.
This is not good.
It's
It
not meant
is-
to be.
It's
Yes. It is very very base level ale.
Yeah. That's like the thing that Yasna mentioned earlier about
Right.
the finding something at the bottom. That's
I got an 18.
Okay. More often than not in this area, it seems to be, you know, fishermen who are here after a long day of fishing, or just generally are shooting the shit with each other. There is a decent amount of conversation that centers around the oddities of the announcement from the mayor and the Ivory Guard in the city, wondering what's going on, whether it's going to cause problems for them and their business, things like that. Nothing that seems intentionally hushed. Everyone here seems to be pretty open and doesn't give too much shit about what anybody else thinks, more or less.
Is anybody looking at us?
Yes.
Just yeah.
Commonly, this is just a thing for you in general since leaving your home, Brightwing.
Yeah, that's true.
Commonly, you'll look over somewhere and someone will quickly look away, trying to act like they weren't looking at you, but with your perception, typically you're able to tell they were looking at you. So yes, people give you guys looks, you especially, most places that you go. Doesn't seem like anyone is like specifically eyeing you with any malicious intent, just more like, what are these oddballs doing in our dive bar at the bottom of the Drift Wharf quarter?
anything standing out?
Not anything that's not normal.
Well,
We see anybody sitting alone?
Yeah, I would say you see a couple what look like fishermen that are sitting alone, just drinking and trying to wash away their shitty day.
I feel
Okay.
like I'm gonna make some people uncomfortable if I stay here too long. I put it mildly. I probably look like a cop. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna make this a little easier. Should I head back and see how the others are doing?
Maybe see if Yaz is done having his
Yeah. Braylon,
Which,
Yep.
let's go over to you, Yasnip.
Okay.
What are you doing?
So, my hope is to go down for the wharf area. I'm trying to get down to the shoreline, specifically. And
Okay.
I'm trying to get somewhere where there's not a whole lot of people, preferably none. And on the way, I would likely try to dip through an alley and use my shape change to turn into a very nondescript human as
Okay.
I walk down to the shoreline.
Okay. And so you're gonna head off the docks or try to find a dock that's at water level?
I'm trying to get off the docks.
Okay,
I
so you
wanna be
can kind of
down
head
on the
down off
ground.
to the side around the rim of the lake and head down to the water. Okay?
Um,
Are you trying to not be noticed, or are you just trying to
yes.
be...
Trying to.
Okay, roll stealth check.
Ah! Sorry, that was an ad.
Everyone looks at this music and is very distracted from the nondescript human.
Sorry.
Ooh, proficiency went up, I
I was
think. No,
looking for
that's not my
something.
proficiency that went up. 17.
17. Okay. You make your way down towards the water.
If I feel confident enough that I'm not drawing attention, I am going to begin casting a spell.
The few people that you've seen, even within eye distance, would be over on the docks, which you're a little ways away from, and largely involved in their own business and not paying much attention, as far as you can tell.
So I'm gonna take about a minute, and I'm gonna take some of the dirt that's been washed up by the water, and I'm gonna make 2 mounds, and then I'm going to kind of dig a small crevice and let water in, and I'm going to cast Flock of Familiars, and reach down into the water and pull up a small fish, which will be Quipper stats, and let it out into the water, and then brush some of the sand away, revealing 2 small owls.
Okay.
And
alrighty.
I'm gonna send each of them upriver to look for signs of what has been described to us.
Okay. And you're going to send them and then have them come back eventually, because you'll lose. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It only lasts an hour.
Okay, and how far away can you look through them?
1 mile.
Ooh! 1 mile? Wow. Okay, can you control them over that distance, or you?
I don't believe that I can control them at all. So this is very limited based off of Find Familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Each familiar uses the same rules and options for a Find Familiar conjured by the Find Familiar spell. All of them, for my choice, are going to be Fey, because we've had information that these things may be Fey. They can telepathically communicate with me and share their visual or auditory senses while they're within 1 mile of me, but they do not say that I can control what they do.
Wow. Okay, so rules and options from normal Find Familiar. While it's within 100 feet of you, you can communicate with it.
Yeah.
So you're gonna tell them to go scout upriver, and you'll be paying attention to what they can see.
I'm looking for larger piles of dead fish that may be floating in the river, and if one of the owls can fly further, I want to see if he can take note of any cave systems, but I know that may be a little bit outside of the range or the reach, but I just want him to attempt.
All right. Okay.
And then once they take off, I'll head back into town.
Sure. Roll a perception check for each of your 3 creatures.
Alright. Oh, that's terrible.
That'll be the fish. Fish first.
Oh,
fish first.
You
Okay.
created the fish first.
He is... So he has dark vision, and perception of... or wisdom is perception?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's a 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
-2. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And then for the owls, do you want me to do 1 for each of them?
Yeah, do 1 for each.
So I'll do the one that is going to be looking closer for the dead fish. That will be a 13.
Okay.
And then for the one that's going further, of course, that's the one that likely isn't going to get the information anyway, is a 21.
Okay.
Oh. Hold on.
All right. We'll give them time to go search about and go back to the tavern. Although Jess is gone, so...
And then I'd likely be trying to move closer to, depending on how, because it takes a minute to cast, depending on how long it takes me to get to a comfortable spot, I'd shift back. And then try to figure out whether I want to go to Bigger Fish or back to the main tavern.
Okay. Oh no. I will say that probably 10-15 minutes in, maybe even a little less than that, your low-flying owl gets to the... They have dark vision, right?
120, yeah.
Yeah. They get to the mouth of where the river feeds into the lake, and don't see dead fish, but see areas around the bank where grass seems to be dead, and you take note of that. And then as they go further up the river, little patches of that here and there. Like there will be a bush that sort of grows out into the river a little bit, and it's maybe a little wilted. It's still no signs of dead fish. The low flying one rolled a 13, right?
Yes.
And the high flying one rolled a 21.
Yes.
And your goal with that one is to do what?
I was hoping, because there was the talk of the caves, but he said that those were a much farther travel. I was hoping for it to try to get as far to that location and then double back if it can relay information, but I don't expect to get anything back.
Okay. All right. We'll leave that for now as they fly. And hey, there's Jess. Hello. Can you hear us, Jess? Okay, now she can. All right, we'll go back to the tavern. So, picking up where you guys had left off, Eclipse.
Yep. If I leave, it might be a little easier for you guys to approach somebody, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
or
maybe.
just wait outside.
Okay.
So I kind of, I finished the drink and what was it, a copper?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hand the copper over to Faye, and I'm like, you know what, I'll wait outside. If it gets a little rough and tumble, just shout.
What is this?
It's for the drink. No. And I walk away.
Leave it on the table for the barkeeper.
So yeah, and I go wait outside just to keep an eye out.
Okay. Okay.
Hi, Brightwing. We are now alone at the bar. Did you catch that?
Yes, we are
Okay.
alone.
Okay. Do you want to stick together, or do you think we might find more information if we split up? I was gonna go try to communicate with some of the people that are by themselves and see if they would be more willing to communicating.
Oh, you can. Yes, I'm not very good, and people don't really like my company, so.
I love your company.
Oh,
Don't think that about yourself ever, please.
it's alright. You can go talk.
Okay. I will, keeping, her in my periphery because leaving a friend alone at a bar kind of a thing. And I don't care because I do this all the time, but I'm gonna go just kind of, take a cruise around the room and, try to meet eyes and see if anyone will meet my eyes as I'm kind of walking around with my drink.
Okay. I will say that roll a general charisma check.
Come on, Bard.
22.
Of
Let's
course.
go, Bard.
I'm good at one thing.
I would say that most people, as you're walking by, would give certainly a glance, not necessarily the kind of oh, are you gonna come talk to me? I want to talk to you kind of glance, kind of more just
Yeah.
like a, okay, and then go back to drinking their own drinks. You see, I will say the person who gives you the most, how do you say,
I'm not trying to be a flirt.
open.
I'm not
yeah.
trying to I'm not doing that. I just want to see if anyone seems open to conversation. I don't want to
Yeah.
sit down with somebody who's face in their glass, you know what I mean?
Yeah, most open to conversation, you would see an older looking rabbit folk woman who's got kind of like a bandana tied around beneath her ears, who is drinking what looks like some sort of well drink. And maybe the vibe you kind of get off of her is she's amused by the other people who are looking at you in a certain way that she's not.
Yeah.
Mm.
Kind of slim pickings here tonight, hey?
That's usually how it is down here, to be honest. But it allows me to drink in peace and quiet, which I enjoy.
Well, I hope
You,
I'm not a bother.
You from out of town?
Yeah, I'm not really from anywhere. I've been everywhere, but just passing through right now. Just trying to.
Traveling type.
Yeah. I like. I'm a musician, so I kind of
Oh,
play the bars. You know, try to get a vibe for each place as I go through.
yeah. Wish I could have done a bit more traveling in my earlier days, but you know, jobs to do and whatnot.
There's always
Families.
way more interesting things in your own hometown than you know.
Especially right now.
Yeah. I heard about I was there when the mayor made that announcement. How's the vibe? Like, are people scared?
I mean, I assume so. It's a bit above my head, but
Yeah.
people don't like unrest. That's what I know, at least. And this seems like the beginnings of that, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't see it settling down anytime soon. It's gonna be fun traveling. I like to try to get to know. I like people, so I listen, pay attention. I keep hearing kids talk about like ghosts and like creatures, and I might be looking to set off here soon, but I don't want to get caught up in something that I can't get myself out of. Have you heard any stories like that or any creatures around here?
The little boogie sprites. That's what
Boogie
they're calling them.
sprites.
That's what some of the kids around here call them, the boogie sprites.
Have they
Yeah.
seen them?
That's what they say. We haven't. No one else has seen them. Just seems to be. I imagine it's some sort of elaborate game they're all playing, but it's odd that all their stories match up, I suppose. Talking about wee creatures near the lake.
Near the lake? Oh,
Hmm.
specifically near the lake, not in town?
No, I don't think anyone in town's talked about it. Well, I don't go into town too much anymore, but you looking for something like that?
Looking for it because I like stories, but also looking to not get too terribly close.
Mm,
So looking
I
for
wouldn't want to either.
signs of perhaps how to avoid it, or if anyone you know has seen it.
Oh, I mean, no, none of us, none of the fishermen that I've talked to have, at least. And that I certainly haven't. Just seems to be kids.
Do you get out on the water at all?
Oh, yeah. I still go out. Fish a bit here and there.
Is the fishing good around here?
I mean, it's some of the best fishing in Kathos. If you're on the lake, at least. I've heard upriver's not doing well lately, but usually upriver's pretty good too, depending on what you're looking for.
Do you know anyone that ever goes upriver?
Yeah. I mean, some people prefer to fish upriver. I prefer a few spots out on the lake. That turtle over there, one on the left side of the shuffleboard, he's a kind of a bigger river fisher.
Oh. Well, I might have had a mind to head up towards Kafrel before too long, so I was trying to see how the travel was up that way.
Oh, well, if you're trying to go out towards the sea, it's you could certainly rent a ship, or buy one, I suppose, or take passage. There's a few that go up and down from there to here, and also up to Ray Grove every now and again.
Yeah. I don't know. I try to keep to myself, especially with so much unrest. So
It's very fair.
I might go pick his brain and see if he's got any insight as to if anything weird's been going on that direction.
Name's Garland, if you want to ask.
Garland, thanks. Yeah, I'm Faye. I might be in town. Keep your ear to the ground. You might get to hear me play something sometime.
Well, appreciate it. We don't get much good music around here.
Like pull out my flute and like play a little trill.
Okay.
just like a do 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 do, like.
Well, it's a teaser.
Yeah, just my card. Call it my card.
Well, I'll certainly look forward to it if it does happen.
I'll like give her like a little smile and a wink and kind of head off towards the portal.
Okay.
Brightwing, okay.
What
Has
are
she
you
been
doing, Brightwing?
approached?
No, Brightwing has not been approached. There are a good number of stares every now and again, but
It's the like that face.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think Brightwing. Hold on, let me look.
The general vibe you get is a lot of don't bother and you don't get bothered kind of thing.
Yeah, and she would respect that. I think she probably is just like drinking the beer, but like forgetting that it tastes bad and just being like, this is
Like
not
you're thirsty, so you keep taking
You
sips.
drink it, and then you're like,
oh.
Okay.
And then probably watching the shuffleboard game because she's very interested in what it is.
Okay. Well, you head over there,
I was gonna.
Faye?
Can I get an idea of how far into the game they are? Is there a scoreboard or something?
No, there's not, but it seems that every once in a while they'll like reset, and so it seems like they're just playing a series of games.
Brightwing, do you want to come play shuffleboard with me?
Is that the game?
Yeah. Do you want to come learn how to play?
Sure.
Okay. Let's I want to try to talk to that turtle right there, and I'll point him out. So I would like to play against them so that we could talk while we're playing. So we want to ask the other team if we could take their place.
Okay.
Okay. So, who's winning?
You ask them?
Hmm?
The one on the left, the one that you were pointed towards, looks up. Oh, I'm always winning.
Oh, that sounds like fighting words, sir.
He is not always winning. And I'm only a game behind. From the guy on the right.
Yeah. Could we play the winner? Or do you want to do teams?
Roll a persuasion check.
Guidance.
Ooh, okay. 27.
27? Oh my gosh. I mean, you know what? You can go right ahead and play if you want. We've been
It's not
playing
fun
all night.
It's not fun without some competition. Come on, join us. We don't know how to play anyway. Would you teach us?
Sure. All right. With a 27, I'm going to say that without spending the whole night talking to them and playing shuffleboard,
Really feel like we're playing all this.
yes, you get in very good graces with these two older turtle gentlemen who appear to very much enjoy the attention of these two strange young women who've come into the bar and want to play shuffleboard with them, and have a number of games, probably switch teams every now and again, learn the game Feel free. Okay, roll. I'm gonna say each of you
Let's
roll a
see, what do I
dexterity
roll?
check. Yeah, just for a general. How well did you do?
Roll what? A dexterity check?
Yep.
19.
10.
Yay.
Okay. Faye's team wins most of the matches, but it generally goes well. Is there something you want to learn from them, specific?
If he's been up the river, I want landmarks. I want subtly, but I want turn left at the rock that looks like this kind of a thing as to where they have seen stuff, and also try to figure out if they themselves have seen any kind of weird things, again under the guise of we plan to be traveling up that way and we're looking out for our safety.
Okay. The sense that you get talking through the night with them is that it's not a localized, very specifically localized thing. It's like they'll see it in this one area where they typically like to fish a little ways up the river, and then they'll try to go past that to find a better spot, and they'll go a ways and have some good fishing, and then find another similar spot. And it's been like a multi-tier, a little ways up the river issue that they've seen here and there.
Okay.
So the sense that you get.
Is there a point? Do they go far enough that it's not past a certain point, or do they not go up further? Have they not been up far to the point where they feel like they've gotten past it?
No, they haven't gotten to the point. They haven't gone far. Like someone previously talked about, I think it was Jed that said, or maybe it was Alan. A ways up the river, becomes
Cliffs.
kind of bordered by cliffs and is sort of winding through a little bit of a valley, and that's a number of half day's travel up at least. They have not gone that far.
Okay.
Not even close. But so the amount that they've covered, which is an hour or two, they've continued to see this kind of stuff every now and again.
Okay. What's this guy's name?
Which one?
Either.
The one who the one that you were talking to who has gone up a little ways?
Yeah, the turtle.
Garth.
Okay. I will make our excuses, and I will pay Garth's tab on the way out.
Okay. He's very appreciative, and there's a bunch of I hope you guys come back, and we're here every night, and that kind of thing.
It's like when you go to the old folks' home and they're like, "Wow, you're such nice
Yes.
young people.
That is very much the vibe. Yes.
Please come back."
Yep.
All right. I'm sure it's been at least an hour.
Yeah. You guys have been here for probably a couple hours now.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, let's make our way.
Bartwin's first night out.
Oh.
I've just been vibing outside.
Oh, the whole
You stayed out there the whole time?
I'd say
Oh, yeah.
depending on the time frame. Like if it was the 15-20 minutes, I probably would have found her outside.
Okay, so you would have eventually gone down as well.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the initial information you got from the mouth of the river was in that time frame, and then the next one who's trying to go way upriver, you wouldn't get anything until close to the end of the hour. So by that time, you would have gone towards Eclipse.
Yeah, for the most part, I was sending them out and then trying to get back in general, so they'd probably feed me information as I'm talking.
And you don't get much more specifics from that one that goes further. They don't reach the cliff area, and they don't see any cave systems or anything like that.
I would have shape changed on the way back and found Eclipse. Sitting outside.
I need different clothes sometimes. Just kind of.
Yeah, I understand that.
It's not a bad thing, but I definitely understand when it's gonna hinder, talking to certain groups of people. They seem fun though. I just didn't want to startle them.
People inside, you mean?
Yeah.
Understandable.
You wait out there with her for the rest of the time?
I did have
The girls are inside?
one thing.
Okay.
Not to pry or push in any way. Did you happen to hear anything back about that symbol?
I haven't, right?
If you've taken anything up with it, that is.
Have you heard anything about the symbol that you drew?
Yeah.
You have not gotten a letter back about that, no. That was in the last one you sent, right?
The one before last, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think I did send the coordinates of where we'd seen them.
That's right.
Around here.
Okay. You have not heard anything back.
And I haven't heard back on either of those, so.
No.
No, and I honestly don't think I will for a little while because of.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
Small thing, but just curious.
But if I do, I'm hoping they, compact it into the same. It also might be just a lot of information that can't make it on the paper. So.
That's true. Yeah. Oh well.
I'll give it a little more time, see if I can't bump the issue a little bit. But I'm keeping an eye out.
I appreciate it.
Of course, dude. You should just kind of. Yep.
Find clothes or something tomorrow as well.
We'll figure it out. It's okay. Just kinda...
Could always pierce the other ear as well.
You know that. You think that'd help? It's just kind of shiny, I guess. And bigger. She seems kind of like really self-conscious for some reason. I mean, I do my job well. Fine.
I'll take a quick moment looking around into the entryway and see them doing their shuffleboard thing, and through the earring. Flick your wrist more, Brightwing. Just as she's doing one of them.
I think Brightwing, yeah, exactly. It just goes flying.
Yep. Yep. It causes a whole commotion.
Yeah, and then lean back out. Just enjoy the night.
I just meant like the spook of it, like as she's about to let go, he like whispers that, and she's like.
Okay.
I think that was too much.
Eventually your games wrap up and it's pretty late at night.
Yeah. We'll head out.
Okay.
You're about
We
as
have a
tall
late night out.
Are you about as tall as me? Or are you little?
Oh, you guys tower. Every single one of the
Okay.
party members are 5 or like 6 and above. 5'8" or above. Brightwing is 5'2".
Okay. I'll just kind of like put my arm around your shoulder and like give you a little hug and be like, I really enjoyed spending time with you tonight, Brightwing. I appreciate your company.
Thank you.
Let's go find the others.
appreciate yours.
Thanks. This is fun. This is what I like to do in my free time.
This is what everyone does. They go out.
Not everyone. It's not for everyone, and it doesn't need to be. This is what I personally find myself doing of late. I like people. I just like getting to know them, hearing their stories. Everyone's got something to say, you know? They just want to be listened to.
I like that.
Mhm.
I
Step
enjoy
out.
tea.
Mm-hmm.
True. You step out and find the others outside.
Hey!
Hey, how'd it go?
Were you here this whole time?
No?
I think we just wait for you two.
Yeah. So... talked to one lady. She knew she had heard some rumors of boogie sprites. Okay, so I vote to change the name.
Are we calling them those now? Because that sounds way more fun than what we had.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they're interchangeable. She said a lot of the kids have seen them, but specifically near the water, not in town, so that's helpful. The other guys had kind of a lot of the same stuff to say as Alan. Interspersed dead fish, dead stuff near the water. So I feel like, if nothing else, it solidifies that they are headed or are located further upriver. It's just a matter of how far upriver.
And the kids sound similar to what we were hearing with the Darklock.
Yeah, and it was
so.
She was disinclined to believe the story until she had heard them all have the same story. And kids fabricate.
Yeah,
and
if they were playing telephone, something would have.
Right,
changed.
something would have changed, absolutely. So I'm
Sorry, if they were playing carrier pigeon, I apologize. I don't know what that word was.
Whisper down the lane?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Right, berries.
Well, maybe
True.
we can tell
Telephone.
Edwin about these ones going up river. It's a little bit different than the Darklock ones. Maybe he
My
knows a
concern
little
is
bit.
that the children are seeing them. They are not making themselves visible to anyone else. But they are not afraid of the children, and they are coming out. And the children are the ones that are being kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
You seem
So,
to be
and they're,
deciding.
I feel like, without having talked to one of them, they seem more spooked than afraid. So, they probably just get weird vibes from them.
Mm-hmm.
They're not taking anyone yet, though, other than the twins.
Well, from my guess, is the attack on Broward was very, I would say strategic because they knew which children to take. My guess is them stalking their prey, seeing which ones do have magic if we think
Right.
magic is the common factor.
Do you happen to remember, did any of the children in Broward mention that they had seen these kinds of creatures before? Before they were abducted?
Wait, wasn't... I thought the Hopalongs knew about it. It was
About the
either them
creatures?
or, Clayson? I remember two of them specifically were talking to me about them. The boogeyman. I just can't remember which ones. But they
I
definitely
believe it might have been when you were talking to Clayson and Daisy when you made them their spears. That yes, they may have mentioned that.
So they saw them before the attack.
Either that or they were messing around by the lake and had definitely heard about it.
That's a bit concerning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe we should get in touch with Edwin and let him know about it being upriver. He might have some insight from his source.
Yeah, I wonder what he's been up to this evening.
And I'm a bit worried that if
Yeah.
this is a similar situation,
Yeah.
there might be an attack coming soon? Maybe?
Yeah, that would be my concern, is that we're gearing up towards something.
Aedwin DM'd me what has happened, so we don't have to role play through all of it. But Aedwin, I would say that you start those conversations. Don't necessarily get anything hard nailed down just yet, but conversations are had.
Cool.
Oh, and nothing from Garrick has been heard
Gotcha. Okay.
as of yet.
Cool.
You guys make your way back?
Yeah.
Okay. Eventually, when they return, I would say, roll a charisma check for me, Aedwin.
Wow.
Just straight charisma?
Yes.
Like, wow, wow.
Wow.
7.
Okay. I would say that by the time they get back, which is probably pushing midnight, Fennel has... You guys talk for a good while, mostly business, and then she eventually made her way out, probably a little bit before that. So when you guys get back, Aedwin is... Are you still down drinking?
No, I'm probably back up at the room at this
Okay.
point. Kind of just like taking stock of all of the information we've gotten.
Okay. So you guys return to find no Aedwin in sight in the Toasted Froth, and not many other people either. It's late. This is less of the dive bar-y, people stay here till 2 a.m. thing, and more the early go-to-bedders and early risers kind.
You can say it's Goofy Goober. We get it.
Yes.
We get it.
It's okay. This is the safe place to
These guys.
stay. You can
Hold
go
on.
out and do things, but then you come back to the safe place. Yes, I'm here for it.
Very much that.
As we're going to bed, I'll just knock on his door and say, "Have fun," because I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I have a conversation.
Okay.
I want to knock on Faye's door.
Okay.
Well, like immediately, or like after a bit.
Probably after like 30 minutes of us settling.
Okay.
Yeah, like the makeup's off, the hair is in like a messy bun,
Mm-hmm.
the jammies are on.
Yay.
Hi.
Would you mind? You showed me what you enjoy. Would you like to? We don't have to. I just thought it would be nice to share.
Yeah. Here or downstairs?
Here is fine.
Okay.
Whatever.
Well, like,
Whatever.
open the door up. Come in.
I have a teapot. I want to try it out. Would you like some tea?
I would love some tea. Yeah.
So I will. It says Druid Craft. I'm able to make fire, like light a thing, right?
can make
Maybe. Let me look.
Yeah, light a candle.
I
Uh-huh.
can heat up to 1 cubic feet of non-living material for 1 hour.
Oh, that would work too.
You instantly light a candle or snuff out a torch.
Yes, you can do that.
Or a small campfire.
Okay.
So I feel like she has like the components of like making the tea and she has it like resting on top and then snaps her fingers and lights and you see like she's also like it worked kind of way. And then she takes out her bag and she takes out several little pouches. So I have certain teas that are good for certain things. Some good for digestion, some are good for a better night of sleep. Is there something you would prefer? I also, and she takes out another bag, which you recognize as the bag that she gathered some of the materials from the trees, where they have the sap.
Mm-hmm.
This is safe to make tea out of. I just don't know what it will do.
Do you want to try it?
My curiosity is piqued, I will say.
I will be your guinea pig.
If anything goes wrong, I can take care of it. But they're very similar to things I've used before, so I don't think it will. We'll try.
Let's try it.
I'll use some of the stuff to make tea, whatever I
Okay.
gathered.
Okay. Okay. And you guys drink some?
Yeah.
Okay. I would say the effect that it has is kind of like when you rub Vicks on your chest.
Oh!
That kind of like refresh.
It's a
sort of
medicine
thing.
bomb tea.
Yes, it's very much like that.
My
Ooh,
favorite.
like mentholy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you ever had a medicine ball tea from Starbucks?
No, but it sounds great.
It's great. It's very the notes are very citrusy and it has like a mint undertone.
Okay.
Yes, it is
Yeah.
very much like that.
I like it.
I think that's great.
If you ever need it for your voice, I think this would be very helpful.
Very true. I'll have to keep that in mind as it gets colder. I think we might have to be a little more strategic about where we camp so we don't come down with something.
Do you mind if I ask you something?
Yeah, of course. What's up?
I don't mean to pry, but are you truly okay? The thing that happened a couple days ago seemed to really shake you.
I told you I'm adopted. Right?
Yes.
A few years ago, after I was kind of more on my own, after I had finished school and all that stuff and was kind of figuring out a bit more of who I am, Mum set me down and told me that I'm not human. I was kind of. It didn't mean anything at the time, because there was no physical evidence for it. I mean, I've always been able to do this, and I'll snap and cast light. But I just figured, a lot of people can use magic inherently. It didn't seem real, it just seemed like a party trick. But
That was the first time, was it?
the first time there was any kind of hard evidence. And I guess up until then I was able to pretend I was normal. And if I was normal, I fit in with them. So I guess it's just it makes me think if this is why my real mum didn't want me.
I'm sorry. But at least you have a mother that does love. Right?
Yeah. I'm really lucky. They are busy and they are picky and particular and a little snooty. But they're mine and I love them. But I didn't come to live with them until I was maybe 8. I'm really not sure how old I am. And I remember being alone. And it's not something that you just get over, I remember being hungry and I remember being afraid and running and, trying to hide. And there's only, I love my family, my brothers, all that. I really have been blessed and they've done a great job of making me feel welcome and included. But I just have questions that they can't answer about this,
I am looking for answers too.
What made you leave?
That is a bigger question to answer. I guess you could say I am trying to figure out why I am who I am. The wilds chose this, she gestures. And I will not deny that I not understand why. And for me to truly accept it, I have to understand it. And for others to accept it, they have to understand as well. And it would be unwise for me to ask that acceptance when myself, I don't truly accept it, I guess. We do not look like this when we are born. We look very human. But we grow to feel like something is missing during that time when we are a wasai, a child. And then the wilds see that time as us growing and what we need to help balance us out. They thought this is what I needed. I guess I just want to know why.
Maybe the wings were given to you because they knew that you were meant for more than just to stay there. The wings were assigned to travel and see more and do more.
I could not fly though.
Symbolic. I can't fly either.
It's true. Well, I thank you for sharing and tea and your story with me.
Thank you for
I
the
hope I
tea.
did not intrude your evening too much.
No, I don't sleep much. It's alright.
Well, if you ever have trouble sleeping, I have some remedies for it.
As do I, and I'll kind of like pull out the lute and just start like just strumming like a little lullaby.
Good night, Faye.
Good night, Brightwing.
Go
Okay.
bed.
Okay. Everyone else goes to bed?
Yes.
All right. Before we take our break, morning comes. And I assume some of you make your way downstairs for breakfast or coffee or tea or whatever. Everybody? Would everybody go down at some point? Okay.
Also, quick ask and side note: did the tea make a bird sound when it?
Yes, the teapot,
cool.
when it was done, made the sound of like a tweeting bird. Yes.
Okay, cool.
It did work. You were not lied to on that front. Probably little later morning, like maybe 9:30. As probably you're wrapping up breakfast, Rylus comes in. Clocks all of you. Heads over to your table. I'm planning to head out this morning, but wanted to give you all an update. I did some looking around where you pointed me to, and it's a little odd. Those prints you were pointing out, the ones where the creatures met up with, seemed like soul-forged prints, which is rare. I don't know if you knew that already, but it could be helpful if they're involved. There aren't that many walking around, so might give us a bit of a clue. Do you have a next plan?
Is this the monk? Who's this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were gonna check upriver. There's some rumors of dead fish. Fishing spot's gone bad.
You think you're heading towards Raygrove? All right.
Yeah, I don't think it could hurt.
No. Just based off of what you've described and direction things are going and coming, seems that could be potentially near the source. So, when in doubt, look for the source, I suppose.
Quick question.
Hmm.
A little bit out of the blue. What do you know about the practical uses for mandrakes?
I was about to ask the same.
That's a very odd question. I believe they can be medicinal, in some ways, and if I'm not mistaken, they can be used as components for spell work as well. Though I don't know the specifics, I could certainly look into it. There's a reason for that question.
Frankly, I probably know a bit less than these folk.
Halfling named Rill and a soulforge named Bagnox. On a cart a few days ago, leaving Sawfeld, we had run into them shortly after emerging from the cave systems that we entered from Proward when we found the children. They were heading to Sawfeld to get mandrakes, or some employer. They didn't give us a name. And then we met up with them again as we were heading to Sawfeld from Proward a week later, and they were leaving. The time could fit. You're looking for a Soulforge print. Seems a bit far-fetched, but...
You say they were, you passed them when you came out with the children?
Yeah, they said they were leaving Proward. We came out through a waterfall along the riverside, and we were headed south back to Proward, and that's when we saw them going to Sawfeld. And then we were in Proward for a few days and made our way to Sawfeld shortly after, and it was, 2 days out that we saw them again, and they were heading the other direction. I don't remember if the rain fit the time frame. Brightwing, do you? When the prints were there and when it was raining?
Did it?
It rains that night after.
Roll a intelligence check. Anybody who wants to, really.
Roll it. It's a
Whoa!
terrible roll. It's an 8.
Natural 18 plus nothing.
Okay.
11.
Okay. Brightwing, so you don't know how far up the storm was necessarily, the rain. So it really depends, because if it was expanded far northward, then it would have been right around the same time. If you were near the tip of the storm, then it might not have made as much sense, but you don't know for sure whether or not it was that far up when you were in it. As far as the timing to where you met them on the road from Sawfeld south, if they traveled fairly quickly, it would have been it would have lined up more or less with like 2 nights before you guys arrived. More or less.
We saw them before we saw Clert. I don't recall if it was the same day, but
that's
I have
correct.
Written down.
It was before you met Clert, yes.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
You saw Clert the night before, but yes, you...
Yeah.
That night, the night that you met them on the road.
Mhm.
And the tracks themselves were what?
It was
Did we
the
say 4 days old?
The tracks that you found where the blightlings were,
Mm-hmm.
when you got to them, they were, yeah, about 3 to 4 days old. So, timeline-wise, it could fit.
It is possible.
I don't want to hang a hat on it just in case we're molding the evidence to fit the facts. You know?
Did he give us something?
I pull out the scroll. Tap it on
What's
the
that?
table.
He gave you that. For what?
In
He
case
said
we
that
ever...
his employer was potentially hiring adventurers to help, and that this was how we could contact them.
He also had something on his chest. It is going down. Gosh, that was a long time ago. Man,
Mhm.
jeez Louise. Okay.
That little spear thing.
It looks like a hexagon. I think it had a circle with a triangle in the middle, with diamonds on each side.
And this was where?
Like on his chest, like a brooch.
Like potentially an amulet.
I guess so, yes.
Or something like that. Did it look expensive, for lack of a better word?
Remind me, it looked pretty well cared for, right?
Yes, and it looked a little bit, it's why you noticed it, a little bit out of place with its like compared to the rest of what they were wearing, which was more regular, like farmish clothes and gear.
From what he was wearing, it looked, I don't know what expensive, but very well cared for, while the rest of his clothing was not as well cared for.
Did you you said they had a cart.
Mm-hmm.
Did you, I assume not, but did you get close to it at all?
Didn't get out of
No,
ours.
but I looked as well as I can. I have very good eyes when I need it. All the mandrakes were there, and they were in prime condition.
I think that's when we solved our own doubts, because if they were near the blightlings, those shouldn't have looked like that.
No, but well, I don't want to speculate too hard. But there are items, tools, tricks that people can
When?
use to cloak things or create illusions. If you wouldn't possibly, you may not ever know unless you made contact with the cart in some way, but it's possible it was your minds were being fooled, or your eyes were at least. Possibly.
To
I
be
hear anything?
completely honest, they were not helpful at all. And again,
Them
facts is facts be.
not helping
They were
us
the
get
only
the kids
people
back
we
as
saw.
well.
They had a cart, they had a soul forged.
And
Whether
they
it was
were
them or
there when you came out originally.
Yeah.
So,
Was it a
Oh
drop-off
my!
point?
yeah.
What
Which
if they were
is-
trying to meet up the kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be an odd coincidence, if not.
Do you
They
know if
did
any
not
other
try to
merchants-
attack us when we had them, though. I feel like if this was part of their job, they would try and.
But they didn't help us.
That's true.
They did not help us.
As a matter of fact, all things considered, I think most normal people would have helped
Would have
us,
helped.
right? Seems kind
They
of
were.
weird that, they seemed pretty keen on getting the hell out of Dodge.
They were incredibly insistent that their thing was time sensitive when they hadn't even gotten mandrakes to begin with.
All right.
But again, facts being facts on the table. We saw them. These are the time frames. Again, leaving suspicions aside, that was the conclusion we came to. If that's something you want to pursue, that's what we're off.
Hey DM, doing some thinking back on the event.
Mm-hmm.
Did they have any recognition at all to the situation or the circlets that they were wearing? Were they acting at all trying to hide affiliation or something? Thinking back to it.
You rolled some insight checks when you talked with them the first time. Because you didn't like the cut of their jib, if I recall correctly, and did not get anything super untoward, but besides the oddity of their unwillingness to help. So I will say that looking back, you don't, especially now, several days after the fact, and not having really considered it much since then, don't really know, can't really make a call on whether or not they did. All you know is that you did not get a vibe from them at that point that there was something untoward going on. You don't know how good or not good they may be at hiding that stuff, so it's hard to tell if it was because there was a deceit going on or because there was nothing there to see or find.
Anyway, names were Rill and Bagnox, at least that's what they gave us.
Any recognizable features besides the odd amulet and the fact that it's a soul forged, which is unusual, more or less.
Didn't the soul forged have a pretty gnarly looking weapon?
Yeah.
It's an axe,
It's
yeah?
a hammer. Hammer
Hammer
and
or axe?
All right.
definitely something big.
I also find it interesting, right, that should they have been involved with these blightlings, it'd make pretty good fucking sense to bring a soul forged for the job, since they are mostly inorganic. Just a thought. We didn't see any other footprints aside from the soul forged, right? So
No, I didn't either.
things seem to at least line up in that regard.
Hmm.
And with them being so rare around these parts,
There certainly would be a lot of coincidences happening here if they were not involved. I don't know if I'd be able to find anything out about them or find them, but I can certainly look into it. At the very least.
I think that may be a bit of a top priority. All things considered, we need to see if we can trace any mandrake sales down in Proward. Try and figure out if anybody has received any, and if so, verify that it happened.
Do they even grow mandrakes here? In Sawfeld?
I don't know of any being grown in town. It's
Wait,
possible they grow in the
They went in the
forest.
forest. Yeah.
Forest, that's right.
Did we see any while we were all through that forest? Did we see any?
Interesting question.
Would I
Go
have
ahead
found
and-
out with my conversation with Fennel whether or not
If they were mandrakes in the forest?
Yeah.
Sure, I would say that you could have asked about that since it's part of what you're all thinking about and looking into. And I will say somebody or everybody who wants to roll a perception check, a retroactive perception check.
I'm gonna
But
be
if you
honest, I
did-
wasn't looking, so I'm not gonna roll.
I got a natural 20.
Okay. I would say that at some points throughout the forest, you probably did spot some deep enough into the forest that certainly no cart would have gotten in there. If any persons had gone in there to farm them, you didn't see signs of that, but you weren't specifically investigating for it either.
The portion of the forest that we had gone to, was that upriver or downriver?
It was a little bit. It wasn't to the mouth of the river. It was along the lake. It was towards the river along the lake.
Or were we traveling upriver or downriver to get to it?
You would have been traveling along the lake towards upriver. So,
Fucking
south, basically. South from Sawfield.
I'm gonna slide the scroll they gave us over to the guy.
Okay.
Look, as much as we could plan some kind of deceitful hiring scheme or whatever it could have been, I think this in the proper hands is probably a better idea, especially if they were hired by somebody that's a part of something like this. And we haven't used it, we haven't done anything with it, they just gave it to us.
Did they give you any more details about who they worked for?
It was a woman. Just that it's a woman.
She's not real keen on face-to-face interaction,
This is
if I
typically
recall
how they
correctly.
communicate.
Mm.
So,
Alright.
Does any of that ring a bell?
Not for specifics, no, but there are plenty of high-ranking officials in government or magical circles,
above,
academia.
above
yeah.
game, are there any specifically female high-ranking individuals right now that are still, like, alive? Who might have benefited from this at all?
From the capturing of these kids? Okay, from the assassinations?
Yeah.
Um
Like any kind of secretary, any kind of assistant that may have
Yeah.
been publicly around that
Wasn't there one that you
think of.
mentioned that like did not agree with the
Yes.
person?
Go ahead and roll a history check, Eclipse. With
Okay.
advantage.
Cool.
I had heard about Selena Valley and Ekvir, but Ekvir was kind of a weird one. He was like a convicted magic-
Convict.
Yeah, well, like, but he was
An
convicted
executed convict.
of opening a portal to another realm. I didn't hear anything about Selena though, but when I was listening in on people's thoughts for the announcement, her name came up.
Opening a
Would you roll
portal
Eclipse?
to another realm. Sorry.
Who?
I rolled a 13.
Okay.
The Feywild.
With a 13 and Faye mentioning Selena Varley, you would recognize that name. She is a relatively high-ranking representative in the parliament, in the Khaing parliament, who was known for disagreeing with Chancellor Icescale on a few political subjects. It's not like you don't know who's going to succeed him, and it's not like him dying means that she is going to, or anything like that. So it's maybe not so much of an advantage thing, but
She
when
wouldn't
Faye
have
mentions
cried
that,
very much about it.
correct. And when Faye mentions her name, you would like, yeah, she would probably not be too upset about Rogar dying.
How recently was Ekvir executed?
Is that out loud or in game, or is that to me?
I would know that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it would have been a couple months ago.
I don't want to point fingers or name names more than we have been, but if you didn't want to meet face to face with people, and this was how you were going to communicate,
Well, don't you think the reason that you wouldn't want to meet face to face with somebody might be that you are a high-ranking government official and you are recognizable?
but again,
That or you're just really scary.
I mean, yeah, this is
Harder and harder to be skeptical.
Are you suggesting someone from the Parliament might have been involved with these attacks, these
I
creatures?
genuinely don't want to, but given that this has happened, I really don't think it's something we can ignore the possibility of. I think it's something to keep in mind.
In addition to that, how much information do you have on Rain?
I know a good deal about what he did, or what he was convicted of doing.
Yeah.
And I know there
Sorry,
are...
but who are we talking of?
Edward Rain recently
he was,
found himself executed for what exactly?
He was tried by the Trivanian Accord and convicted of opening a portal
Where?
from another plane. It was... I don't know if anybody ever found out exactly where. Most people believed it was the Hells, and he was working with some archdevil or something like that, but we never got specifics on that. Just that he was trying to cause some sort of mayhem.
Have you ever heard of any whispers, mentions of Rain and Vale working together, or having been political allies at any point in time?
No, he was not, he wasn't politically aligned that I know of. Just some kook, most people believed. Part of some cult.
That's a kook, Brightwing.
Oh,
Yeah,
Like a crazy person.
Well,
the person yesterday was being...
as far as Varley is concerned, I just don't understand why capturing children would serve her purposes.
Well, they appear to be children with magical abilities.
Well, we've got it
Again.
backwards. That's the weird thing,
Yeah.
right?
Again, it's more of just the thought that even if it's not, the children's side of things, maybe the little creatures have their own thing they're doing with that.
It's
But
their
it's
thing.
more... Yeah, that's... I'm just more under the assumption that if, again, you were going to work with people without showing who you were, you'd have a reason to hide who you are. And I'm not saying it is her, but that's who came up to begin with and is being thought of around here right now. Again, it's completely an assumption. It's something to just keep in mind. I would love to just stick to facts on this, but
perhaps we should find more facts then.
Rylas, do you know if the Ivory Guard's going to be remaining in Sawfeld for the interim?
I imagine they'll stay around until order is restored in the capital, politically, at least. Or perhaps just until they find that there's nothing here worth staying for. Which I imagine will be the case. Whoever's involved in this, I highly doubt, is hanging out in Sawfeld.
We put a small piece together from something that happened in Proward. Children were talking of... What was it? Boogie sprites?
Boogie sprites.
Boogie sprites.
Possibly an alias for the creatures that we don't actually know, that we've been calling blightlings. Seeing them before the attack, and apparently that's been happening here.
We've already told the mayor to try to keep kids close, but there's only so much we can do.
Have any adults corroborated these reports?
They have
we've-
agreed that amongst the children, the reports seem consistent, even with different groups of children, but no adult has seen them.
And you
we've
said
spoken with.
these creatures can be invisible, unseen.
But they are allowing themselves to be seen by kids.
Or... And he looks over at you, Aegwin. Have you found out anything about the background of these creatures, where they may have come from?
They have a trace, however slight, of Fae. Not our Fae, but the Fae Wild, along with the Displacer beasts that we found in the forest.
Hmm. The chaos of that realm often manifests itself in odd ways. Sometimes magical. I might consider the fact that they are not revealing themselves to children, but just children can see them, and others can't.
But you all have seen them, right?
When we force them to be seen.
when they were invading, and when we attacked them. Well, when we drew them out.
Which was the first major attack reported of these creatures since we discovered them about a month ago.
And the first that I know of highly visible contact. Most of what we've heard has been rumor, but Proward, they were seen by many.
There's a lot of stuff adding up that, you know.
I feel like it's more similar to them stalking prey.
Alright.
We need to check up River. We can't be here if they're gonna attack. But we, again, have a feeling they're gonna. And
If there's worry of that, I can let the mayor know and likely let the Ivory Guard know. There might not be a better time for these creatures to try to attack than when the whole town is armed and guarded. If that were a concern. Certainly the town is in better hands right now than it would be normally, so I don't believe it's your responsibility, nor is it mine.
I think it would be wise to get as much information as we can on whatever it is that Wherein was doing. I know it's been a few months, but anything that remains needs to be double and triple checked. Because the first known report of the Blightlings popped up a month ago.
Same for us.
And he was executed roughly 3 to 4 months ago. Still about a 2-month window, but that's time that these creatures could be organized, given these, frankly, advanced arcane artifacts.
Right.
And make their way down the river.
Which is among my greater concerns, because among the many assumptions that we can make that we can't be sure of, one assumption we can make that we can be sure of is that those creatures did not come across those on their own.
Probably
And
came
whoever-
from somebody who has a lot of money. Perhaps a high-ranking, established
Political
individual
figure.
in society. Just throwing it
Can
out there.
somebody-
can I ask a
somebody with
ridiculous
some-
question?
Always.
I suppose there are
was-
no ridiculous questions.
Where
at
was
this
Wayne?
point.
Where was Rain from?
As he's this conversation has been going on, same thing as last time. He's been constantly moving his index fingers, resting on the table as if writing. He stops for a second and lifts it up to his temple and holds it there and focuses for a second.
Or where was he apprehended? Both of those
I
places.
believe he was apprehended in Viliad. I don't know if we know where he was from. I don't have that information, at least.
Viliad.
I don't know if that's where he supposedly opened this portal either. For what it's worth, no proof was ever found of this portal. But he was convicted nonetheless.
Where is?
No
Iliad is
proof
in
was
the
found.
skinny bit.
It's at the sort of like the mouth of the coast, or the Gulf.
Sorry, that's not settling well with me. They've convicted him of opening a portal, but have no proof that he did. So how was he convicted?
Well, some of the reason that his name, I assume, has come up through whatever mind reading you've done, he nods towards Faye, is in the arguments made against him. Icescale and Storn were both vocal and convincing. And from what I
Icescale-
understand,
Icescale himself was involved in his conviction.
they were making arguments.
Wow.
And so
All the way up the chain.
it's believed they swayed most of the voting parties towards the conviction, and it's believed that many who supported Rain, of which there were some, would have held a grudge. I imagine that's why his name has come up.
Okay. Well, right.
It seems we are trying to put a puzzle together with very, very few pieces.
Yeah, I think with what we have now, we should stay in touch. Like I said, please take this scroll with you. If you feel like using it to track somebody down, go for it. But after hearing all this, there's absolutely zero reason I would want to work with someone who had anything to do with it.
I'll consider it. I don't know if making myself known or making it known that there's any are any eyes on these two that you mentioned is the play. I may try to find out more about them from afar with my own methods. But I'll take it, and it's an option.
Plot thickens.
Yeah.
If you head up the river, do you have ways of reaching out? If I'm not here,
Look
which I
over
I
won't
to
look
be.
at the small scrap. I don't have a lot left, but I do have some. I pull out a scrap, very small, like, corner left of the same scroll that he's looking at. My father gave me this to get in touch with him on my mission. I can send it to anyone I choose. This is the only way that I'd be able to.
All right. Save that for an emergency. I
Absolutely have been.
can make contact. It'll be short messages, but if it comes to it, I'll reach out. Do you all have a name or anything like that I can refer to?
Can we?
You motherfucker. You
We
motherfucker.
will
man.
workshop that later.
Fair
TBD.
enough. All right. Well, I go my way then. You go yours. And, perhaps we'll cross paths again. I imagine we might.
I have a feeling we will.
I think in the meantime we can keep the outside of the facts conclusions to ourselves. I don't think it's a good idea to be bringing
No,
up.
certainly not. I would keep the names we've spoken here out of public ear.
As long as we're.
All right. Well, I appreciate all your help.
And we appreciate yours. This is.
Did not expect to find a group like you here. I can tell you that much.
Likewise.
Yeah, it's
Good
pretty
luck.
Buck wild.
I have one more. Why trust a word that we say?
My job is heavily involves reading through lies and finding truth. And I don't sense much of the former, and I do sense much of the latter from your group. In fairness, I don't consider any of it hard fact till I can confirm it myself, but so far the one thing I did go and confirm matched up with your story, so for now you're in the trustworthy column, let's say. And I'll remember everything you said. Everything. And he stands up, nods, throws his hood up, and walks out.
Why do we trust him?
I was gonna
don't.
say that's the more important question. But I mean, even if he does stab us in the back, we'll know where it's coming from.
I feel like
I don't think he'd
this
use a
is just
dagger,
throwing
to
it
be
out
fair.
there. We're really
Oh,
just
he's not
being
alarming.
suspicious for the sake of being suspicious at this point. Like, what reason do we actually have to believe that this well-known continental organization has any ill merit towards a group of 5 ne'er-do-wells that met up in a backwater town in the middle of Cathos? Seems just to be a bit too paranoid, is all. That's all I'm going to put out there.
Almost like
Yeah.
a bunch of mandrake farmers that are working with the abduction of children.
I'm gonna be
But-
real. I'm really mad about that, but
Mm.
we'll worry about it later.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Don't worry.
I will string that halfling up by his toes.
Honestly, he deserved it after not helping us. Would have saved
Should've
us a
knocked the
lot of
wheels off
fucking
its
headache
cart,
on the way
honestly.
back.
Should have just knocked a wheel off his cart, forced him to stay, you know?
Trust me, I was so tempted.
Yeah.
But that soul forged also looked a little terrifying,
Yeah.
and we were not in the best condition to handle that.
Well, we have a lot of pieces to this, but we're missing everything that connects it all together.
I think the big thing is we're also only limited to the ones that we can actually pick up. Which,
Yeah.
majority of them are stuck
I
in
keep
place.
staring at the section of map that has the place he was apprehended and then Raygrove, and just pointing back and forth between them.
Yeah,
That's a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can't just get through Brass Crag. You've got to go around, and
I know, but
that's
still.
a lot of distance to cover, especially through Westmarch. That's going to slow you down a decent bit.
Someone's been to Bragdale, right? Is there a mountain pass there between Iliad and Bragdale?
heard
no,
of
I just
Bragdale.
mean in a couple of months. Think about it. If they were here, and it took them a couple months to spread, and they came out here,
It took Brightwing and I a month to get from Tristane to Proward.
Fair.
I'm just saying it's a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
I will
We
throw
were on
out
foot.
since.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Brightwing.
We were on foot, not horseback, though.
Yeah, it's true.
I will throw out since the question was voiced. Aedwin, you would probably know this more than anyone since you have been in Viliad. There is a mountain pass from Bragdale to Viliad that is traversable. It's not like a super easy road to travel, but
Like a
it can
one-horse
be done.
road.
I mean,
Kind of.
if you're desperate enough,
The lowest.
in theory, there is a mountain pass from Villia to Bragdale. It's certainly not recommended, especially for people who are not well travelled. But, of course, for a merchant, per se. Although that cart would probably be fucking...
Oh, I was talking more about the blights in general. That if they were summoned in Viliad and somehow made their way out to Raygrove, that doesn't seem too far-fetched to me, especially given the span of time.
Mhm.
That's all I was thinking.
Well, who wants to go spelunking?
I
What?
really thought we'd have more time before having to do that again.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a bitch to do this time.
You know...
Skunking?
Spelunking.
Spelunking.
Yeah.
Going underground.
Going in caves. Right?
Yeah.
There's a term for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun word.
Yep.
Also, don't even think for a moment, miss, that we missed the fact that you made your own analogy. Referring to that conversation as a puzzle.
She's learning.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
We have puzzles.
Well, yeah.
Yes, but you're
That
learning.
was a figure of speech.
That
You
was a
did it.
figure of speech.
Quite seamlessly in the middle of conversation, no less.
Well, it's...
Hmm? Hmm?
Give her a
Oh.
little pat on the top of her hand.
She just like looks down in her lap and there's the whole script.
Do you not have puzzles?
We do, that's why we understood what you were saying.
Yeah. So that's how the figure
a
of
bit-
speech works.
Easier to say it that way, isn't it?
I get it.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you said it, so I'd certainly hope you get it, but, you know, that's besides the point.
Progress.
But you have words that don't make sense sometimes. Like, why would they...
Like spelunking?
Yes.
What do you mean? Spelunking makes complete sense.
How does one spelunk?
You
DM, don't
go
shake your head at me.
underground.
I know what I'm talking about.
It is. It has to be one of the words that sounds least like its definition. In fairness.
Thinking back to all of the times that I've spent in like questionable bars and places and been like, have I ever heard of that?
Sorry,
Like the
I was-
whole pulling of the leg for a joke. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
I think we should celebrate the victory and not focus on
Yeah.
the point.
Look at the puzzle.
Yeah, you did good. You did good.
Do we need
Um,
anything before we set off?
Well,
Should
we
we
have
leave
a-
the horse here?
We have the tent, right?
We have two
Do you have-
tents?
Yep, I have a tent.
I
Yeah.
believe you may have 3 tents.
We have
Because
3,
I
we
think you
bought a
bought
third.
another one.
Cool.
I am alright with sleeping outside if anyone would like a tent.
Well, it's more for the rain when the environment is not ideal for being outside.
Mhm.
Well, I could make shelter.
Wait, really?
It is- Yes.
Out of sticks?
Alright.
We are Well, it is part of training.
Birds build nests, you know.
I mean, that makes sense.
It is not nest. It is shelter.
She's gonna make it where we'll be like, yep, that's definitely how Yes.
It's just a circle of sticks on the ground.
Cut to the future where Yasnip is looking at it
Like-
and then
Like
gets
a New York City pigeon nest where it's like
Oh
4
my
sticks and an egg.
gets her to look at it upside down. Nest.
No. God, we are the worst. Or it's gonna look like a sparrow, like, you know, huddled.
Oh, one of those like
yeah,
yeah.
It's gonna look like a nest or anyways.
We are trained in certain things at young ages in case we are given a certain clan to be a part of, and shelter was one of the things we all know how to do.
Yeah, that makes I'm not as surprised now. I thought this was a new magical thing you had discovered and not a basic life skill that some of us are lacking. So
I was there with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Looking forward to the Akameu of shelter making.
yes.
Haha.
What the fuck is this
That's
game,
how you
guys?
use that word.
I
Oh,
don't-
the horse is here.
Akameyu is a people, not a term to.
You said they were
something.
artists.
They were artisan, but that would be more. If you're making shelter, it would be more the.
Let's go. New words.
Maybe-
Let's go.
One second.
Uh-huh.
The. Kawaii socks? Is that what it is?
Kawaii socks.
White
Love
socks?
Oh, dude.
Guara socks? How do you say that?
Kiyosak.
Kias. That is S-O-C-K at the end of it, Matt. In your little pronunciation.
Kiyosak. Yeah.
Kiyosak.
Kiyosak.
Kia sock.
Thought you'd just gone completely off the reservation.
Kiyosaki of shelter
way
making
more
then.
It's just it's a sock.
Yeah.
It's a bird.
It's a bird's
Anyways,
We are so bad at staying on
Yeah, we
track.
are.
Dude,
Oh
we are.
my
We've gone so far
God.
off the rails. I
We are
think
so
we
good
are
at
Huge
dumping lore amongst
political
ourselves.
shit.
made it to
Ships.
Sildari, guys. I think we're just here now.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can just stay here. It's fine.
Yeah,
All right. I think we should set out on what we were gonna do.
We going by
We've
water or
given
by
them-
foot?
Would by water be faster going upriver?
It'd be
I feel like
faster
that would
coming
be-
back.
You make a good point. But will anybody be waiting there for us to get back?
Valid question.
I mean,
Alan seemed easily persuaded by things that go click clack. So
yeah, but
I
do
imagine.
I would feel worse risking someone else's life for
Also,
this.
could we all fit
If
on
I'm
that
being
boat?
totally honest.
Could
You
we all
certain-
fit on that boat, Matthew?
Certainly
Mm.
couldn't call it the ship.
It was small.
it was a small fishing boat. Potentially you could, but it's probably wouldn't be the quickest or easiest mode of transportation for you all.
Yeah,
it-
they mentioned canoes.
Quick point
Yeah,
of order. I,
this
with
is-
We
my
have 3
armor and
horses,
stuff, I
technically.
weigh like 350 pounds. So, like,
Yes. We
This-
go
Yeah,
into
no.
water not a good plan.
If you plan on
That's
traveling
way.
upriver, and I will say that probably Faye, you would have had a bit of conversation with the shuffleboard turtles about this last night. If you wanted to travel quickly upriver, canoes would probably be the best way.
Yeah.
Is the impression you've gotten, and it's not like a fast-flowing White Rapids river situation. It's pretty
Dang.
tame.
It's also worth
Pocahontas,
mentioning.
like just like the
Just around the river.
Yes.
Just
Oh,
also
we're gonna die.
to stay in the realm of reality. The last time that we followed these things underground, we came above ground in a completely different location.
Also,
Yeah.
are we not intending to bring one back with us?
It's the plan.
Right. So like we need some way to transport it. I mean, how are they? Are they heavy? Are they?
They're small.
Are they
Yeah, they're,
They're small, but a halfling
definitely
is
gonna
small.
carry-
like?
it's
this-
smaller than
60
a
pounds.
halfling, right?
Yeah,
Mass,
they're
yeah.
very small.
Like
They're very scrawny, probably similar height to a halfling, more or less, mostly hunched over and very scrawny. So you
Unless
figure
there's
it would
something
weigh
bigger.
not much.
and how?
Canoes it is.
do we have a plan on how to
I think we
That's
have
the
that
thing.
covered.
restrain? Do we need some like
Yeah.
I thi-
shackles? Do we need like something that goes over the face?
We'll
'Cause
just-
I like.
Put it to sleep.
I mean, you still have that circlet, right? Or did we? That was the point.
You kept it and told him he could maybe get one from Mayor Maddock.
Oh, awesome.
So we have that and a bag.
Washing machine bag.
I guess
Oh,
if it-
And a
if it-
dagger.
We're not going to be able to call it a blightling when it comes out of the washing machine bag.
I
It's just
mean-
going to be
Ling.
a ling,
Possibly, man.
a brightling.
Frightling. Wow.
Comes out and it's just iridescent.
Blightling,
Wow.
more like lightling. Dump it out of the bag. Anyways, I don't think it'll go in the bag. I don't want to drown it. But
Are you guys comfortable with your armor on a canoe?
We will capsize if I get on a fucking boat. I'm just gonna put that out there. It's
canoe?
going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
if it's
What?
if it's something that small, I don't think it's gonna work.
I don't know. I've seen some fat old bastards on canoes before. They've got away at least as much as you do with all your stuff.
Good save right at the end. Kudos for that.
That's where it was headed the
Um,
whole time.
I think at the very
Right.
least we could test it on the lake, like in the shallow water. See
Yeah,
how
like-
easily it tips.
Maybe
Maybe
you
they
just
have a
get your
double
own.
wide paddle or something.
That would also be,
I just love how this is a thing we have to factor in. It's great.
You
Oh,
are the one
crap.
who's making it very apparent.
Look!
What is the what is the average?
He's insensitive. He's sensitive about this.
If some of these
Gosh.
turtles can be on one of these boats, I think you'll be
It's
fine.
made of rocks. Kinda.
It's- No, shut up, Sean.
Made of
Leaves
Moving on.
dust everywhere. We could
Louise.
we could test it out. I mean,
Yeah.
no one.
We'll figure it
I-
out.
I'm
I think
sure.
at the very
like,
least, testing it in shallow water is not a terrible idea.
All
just in
things
case.
considered, regardless,
stink
I
like a
think it would still be wise for us to go on foot, because these creatures, as far as we understand, seem to be a bit more adept in the water, and I really would hate to be caught out in it with them around. Just kind of a,
But we
Yeah.
it is quite a ways to get down there, so
yeah.
we could see how fast
A
they
quarter
are.
mile.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's like a half day to where the cliff faces start.
It's true.
Is that walking or on horses?
On water.
On water.
Or on
Upstream.
water?
I think that's the other.
Well,
thing.
upstream you're fighting current.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. Here's the other thing to factor in. If we leave the horses here, and they attack while we're gone, we might lose them. I'd like to not have that happen.
Yeah, so all things considered, traveling upstream in a boat versus traveling south on horses. Horses seem faster, right? That's a safe assumption to make. While going downstream on a boat would be faster, the amount of time that we're saving going south is going to offset that. Probably roughly the same amount of travel time, no matter which way we end up deciding to go with this.
But
We
you-
leave the horses in town with the Ivory Guard. The place gets attacked. The horses may or may not be killed. We take the horses with us to where we believe the Blightlings are, and the horses still may or may not be killed.
But we can leave the town because it's near Raygrove.
We wouldn't have to come back. Like we wouldn't have to double back for them. We could just go on to wherever we want to go next.
That's all
True.
assuming we come
Yeah.
up in the same location that we go
Where?
down.
Hold on. Eclipse, where are
Oh,
we
I
taking
see.
this creature once we find it?
Well, It would be Leah, which is further south. It would take a little
Yeah.
while.
It's not as close.
I mean, taking it directly to Alea doesn't sound very safe either, but
I mean,
That's
we could always stop
where they are.
in Viliad or Ilmara. My family might have some, like a carriage or something that we could take from there. Also, we need to take the other horse and the carriage back to Proward.
And
Like,
Yeah.
they're rented.
Right.
They
they're
weren't a
not
gift.
Exactly. They're not.
But not the black and the white
technically
horse and the carriage.
either way, we need to come back to Safeld.
Boy, this is a
Ultimately,
fucking mess.
it's easier to leave 4 or 5 canoes on a shore side than it is to
That's true.
leave 1 or 2 of us while the others are
A
going
horse.
underground.
No.
We need to take canoes if we're going to go, or just walk. That's really the only 2 options.
As the person who I know would be voted to stay with the horses, I don't like that idea.
Okay. Well. All right. Then we'll have to pay extra for them to stay, just to cover them. So I'll look into that.
We're in the tavern still, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are there any sugar cubes?
Like on the table?
Yeah,
Yeah,
meant-
I'd say
I meant-
probably.
we'll
I
pocket
meant
2 of
paying
them.
this. Yeah, I
Okay.
meant paying the tavern. But
There's 3
you know,
horses.
I don't care about the other 2. There's one that I got a vendetta with.
I'm sorry about my son. Yeah, I just mean.
Okay, I do.
What?
Nothing. Continue.
Also, the army's here. Would you rather leave the horses
Yeah,
in a
I mean,
town
you're-
where the army's located?
Yeah, I get he was fine when we left him in Proward. It was okay, and he survived whatever the hell that thing that attacked the
Hey,
horses was.
heist
But
number 2. Hey, heist number 2. Hey, heist number 2.
I just,
Hey boy.
I'm sorry. I just worry about it. So,
I don't think you should be too concerned with another Kruthic attack.
well, no, it's not that. I just,
The Blightlings, what we've seen is that they make the livestock a bit sick. Do we
yeah,
actually know whether or not any livestock have recovered from that sickness yet, by the way?
we
Or
didn't go
I
check.
wanted to go try.
That was
and-
what Rylus was
Yeah.
going to do.
right.
Oh wait, was Rylus going to or?
Rylus said he was
is
going to
gone
at some point.
now, so I
But-
guess we have to figure it out on our own.
I'm sure
Brightwing,
if it
you
was a
wanted
case
to
he
go check,
mentioned it.
right?
Yes, I wanted to see if I was able to help.
Also have Brightwing talk to Crater again.
Maybe they can give him some of that tea. The tea was great.
Versus like,
Oh, from last night.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it's that sort of sickness, but I have abilities to help if there is needed.
It's made from the same plants, though, right? That would
It
cure
is-
the ground.
No, it's not the same plant. It was the
Oh.
vegetation from around it, from the same area.
okay, well, we can go check
If you
on the
need
farm.
me to
before-
talk to Crater, I can talk to Crater.
That would make me feel better.
I'm gonna hold up 2 sugar cubes in between my fingers.
Okay.
We'll try
Thank you
this.
for clarifying.
Yeah.
2
one,
sugar cubes.
2.
2 sugar cubes.
1, 2.
We're that tired.
I'm tracking.
In between.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
That is a terrible way to offer a horse a snack.
Well, I'm not gonna give it to him that way.
Mm-hmm.
Should I go talk to him now?
Do you guys want to go have a barn party?
not entirely keen on it, but it seems like the next logical step, so...
Oh, I meant them.
Oh, go off.
Yeah. I mean, if we're gonna head out today, we should.
I think the sooner the better.
Yeah.
I need to go check on the hide, see if it's done tanning or not.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the sound of contempt I hear in your voice, Faye?
No.
And then,
Right.
right. Just at one point, we can go check on the livestock and
It's a
see.
28 deception check.
Wow! Wow! No
Get
one was gonna
wrecked.
fight you on it.
In case anyone
No fucking
wanted
shot.
to
No
kind of-
shot. I'm just... Cool.
Okay. Are people going to talk to horses?
Yep.
Okay.
I will ritually
Every
start
step.
casting Speak with Animals on our way there.
Okay. You arrive, find the trio.
I'm gonna
Oh,
hang
Matthew.
back before going in. I'm gonna be outside the door. I have a plan.
Okay. So just right wing and a clip step in it initially.
Yep.
Okay. Oh. Hi. Hello.
Are you
Are we-
alright?
Oh, yeah.
I've been treated well.
Oh, sure. They brushed me good. So I'm fine, I suppose. Are we going out now?
Well, we might be having to. Well, we are going to be going on a little adventure up the river, but we do not think it is safe for you to accompany us.
Oh. Because we'd have to swim?
We might be swimming for a bit.
Hmm.
Are
I
you?
don't-
I don't think you're a good swimmer. I could be wrong, though.
I don't know if I've gone swimming. So
Going-
I'm not too sure.
Going to slowly, with an open palm, only my arm, reach in through the door with 2 sugar cubes in my hand.
Roll a animal handling check with advantage.
10.
10.
No, no.
Hey, that's double digits.
It's a
man.
3 and
Gotta
a
give it
10.
some.
It's a +0.
Oh my gosh.
That's right. I forgot.
He looks down. Whose arm is that?
Oh. Oh, that is Yasnip's.
Who's that?
Fuck, don't tell him. Oh, no.
It is the other friend that you met with the horns.
He leans over and spits on your hand.
Fuck.
Why is my son so problematic?
That guy smells funny.
You know,
Oh my god.
I don't know what to say to that. That was just very rude.
So we're gonna stay here then?
Well, if you would like, I think we would just like
mean-
to warn you. Do you remember the attack on Prower? You all 3 were there, right?
There was a lot of yelling.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I know.
Well, I will say if we are gone, and there might attack may happen. If you can run and get out of the way, I think that might be the safest for you. But try to stay safe.
All right, I don't know if I can get out of here. He looks around at the stall. It's not easy to get out of. But
I look at the other
Oh.
two. I look at Antonio. I
He's
have a
peeking
feeling-
around at the sound of the attack. He peeks his head around. If
I give
someone
him-
comes, tries to harm anyone, I will stomp them.
I understand. Though I think your friend has experience of leaving the pen when needed.
All right. Well, we will be safe, I'm sure.
Alright. Eclipse? And she uses her normal common.
Yeah.
You need to say anything to Crater before we leave?
I come up and I give him the little pets
Okay.
on his nose.
He very much nuzzles
Kinda
in.
I like
bumps
bump my
his
head
forehead.
against his. Yeah.
Yep.
Very usual. Like, I'll be right back. Take care of yourself, buddy. We'll be back.
Alright. Owata.
Uh-huh. Have fun, I guess. Okay. You guys head out.
We're going
and
to
back.
head to the farm.
I'm out pushing my hand in the grass to get probably horse spit off of me.
I'm gonna dump some water on it.
Yeah.
Just gonna pat his shoulder, just like one of these days. You'll get there. I'm not real great with horses either, so I'll
Yeah.
get it.
Okay. You guys are gonna make your way to a farm in the hills. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, I want to check the livestock.
I'm probably
Is there
gonna
anywhere,
park
like-
here and then do my thing.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to check in on whether things have been finished up.
Yes.
Okay. And then do you guys make a plan to meet back up?
Yeah.
Probably just meet back up at the inn, yeah?
Or at the
Alright.
dock.
Yeah,
Or
look for canoes. We're doing canoes.
Let's meet at the inn. That's easier. The docks are a little bigger and not as easy to meet up. So yeah, the inn.
Jesus,
Okay.
cat.
All
Get
right.
the zoom.
You guys make your way towards the farm. Age when you head over to Fennel's. Okay.
Just
We'll
stay
go
at the inn.
there. Okay. We'll go to Fennel's spot first. When you get there, you here for the hide?
Yeah, just checking up on it, see where we are.
Still gonna need a couple days, maybe
Alright.
a day at best.
It's kind of
You're
what I
gonna
figured.
Stick around that long?
We've got a lead we're going to be trying to follow downriver. I got a couple of ideas what we're looking for, so we'll probably be back around pretty soon.
All
But we'll be out of town for a little while.
All right. Well, say cheerio to everybody else.
Oh yeah, certainly.
She's not gonna sell those while you're gone, is she?
You're not going to sell those while I'm gone, are you?
I mean, if someone makes me an offer that I can't refuse, no, I'm not gonna sell them while you're gone. I make a deal. I stay to the deal. I got you.
All right, fair enough.
Stay safe though. Holds out her arm.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Good luck.
Just give her a quick nod and then walk away.
Okay. The rest of you get down to the docks, looking for someone who will sell or rent you a canoe, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay. When you get down there, you notice Mayor Hartford and a couple Ivory Guard there with her. She's talking to a few people, and when she sees you approach, have you all found out anything yet? Anything important I should know about?
gonna try tracking upstream.
You're heading out upriver.
Yeah, we'll be back.
All right. I'm planning on setting up a curfew. So
Yes. Please.
we'll get that in place. I appreciate your efforts. Are you taking canoes up or walking?
Remains
So-
to be seen.
Yeah, I'm gonna gesture between me and Adrian. Do you think that's a good idea?
Out there.
It's fine. I'm back with the party. It's okay.
Oh no, yeah.
It wouldn't
just-
have taken me long to take care of what I needed to take care
Okay.
of, so I probably could have come back with the party before we.
I mean, I can also
Well-
just be like,
It's fine.
Certainly, if you're looking to go quickly, that's the best way. It do mean with all the gear.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be a problem. No.
okay.
These we make our river faring vessels well here. I'm sure you can find something good.
for that.
In fact, given the work you're doing and the work you have done, if you find someone, tell them that I comped for the canoes.
Thank you.
We want answers, and it seems you may be our best bet at that right now. So
The monk talked to you.
yes, Rylis. Is that right?
Just wanted to make sure that you relayed information about maybe having the guards stay a few extra days.
He did mention that. I don't know if I have the authority, but I'll certainly ask. And we've been talking about the curfew and, well, it might be easier in town where people are a little bit more, how do I put this nicely? Timid and humble. The docks, those who live on the Drift Wharf, they kind of like to do their own thing, so I just want to make sure everybody's on board. No pun intended.
All right.
I guess we could ask this. Do you know if there are any close by farms that were affected with the livestock being sick?
Yes, there was a couple. If you go into the hills, there's a farm called the Gerard Farm. You can ask them. I heard something from them.
And about how far is it?
Oh, one of the first two hills you'll see. You'll see it on a sign.
I think we were gonna go ask them that, but we'll see. We might have to do that. Yeah.
All right.
Did we want to give the vials?
Oh, yep. Right,
Before we
do you
leave.
want to do that?
Do what now? I'm sorry.
Did you have a courier arranged by chance, Mayor?
I do have someone, yes, to take the vials south to Proward.
Mm-hmm.
I can, yes.
Did we already give them those, or
No, we still have
No,
them.
I haven't.
might want to hand those over now, because
She takes them. All right. If we end up needing some of this ourselves, is there ways to make more? Do you know?
This,
Well, this is just the main component. It's not the full formula.
I understand. All right. I'll ask the courier to find out if they learn something complete.
it's from Mother Mia in Proward. She's the one who's making.
Understood.
And I should
All
say,
right.
from what we have discovered, we can only assume it will work. We don't know yet.
All right. Well, good luck and safe travels. I wish you well. I hope you find something that will help.
Good luck to you too.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. We may need it. She walks off.
At what time is it right now?
It is
Late morning.
Okay.
10:32.
10:32.
As much as
It's brunch, y'all. We can go get brunch.
I don't know. So as much as I also really want to go check, I don't know how far out that farm is, and I think we really need to get
Well,
going.
I could just go if you guys would like to get supplies for.
I mean, realistically, I think we just go, right?
I think we have a strong enough lead.
Yeah.
I understand the wanting to check, but also if Mother Mia can figure out with the crops, we might be able to figure out if that can help with the animals.
And if there's a potential attack, we might want to get ahead of it.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys want to go find canoes then? All right. I will say that it's
Canoe?
pretty easy to do.
Or no, the entire time we're here, Edwin is just dying inside.
Yep.
I
Good
was
to
at the inn.
Insight check.
Oh, true.
4.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot that we're not.
We're not meeting at the docks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't
we
there,
grabbed
even
Faye.
though I said a couple of words.
Faye, is there anything you want to do at the inn? Okay, let's go to you then.
Real quick. I am gonna like kind of look at my map and like plot out where everything was. And you and I briefly talked about this, but most of family operations are in Ilmara, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking of getting down to Alea, if that's the goal. We're not going to carry this thing around with us forever.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to send a letter fairly quickly to the boys there.
Okay.
And I'll pay if I need to pay extra to get it there quickly, but if possible, would it be possible for us to acquire some kind of passage there, or would they be willing to ship something down to Alea that's very sensitive? Or would
Okay.
they be prepared to? Like, either we need to escort it, or it needs to be escorted by someone, which they
Sure.
would have the means to, but would they be willing to, and does that fit schedules and stuff? And also, since they are in the capital, without giving too many details, just say like, I've heard something concerning about Varley, like keep an ear to the ground, etc.
Okay. All right. Done. I will say a silver to get it there normally, and if you want it to be expedited, 3 silver.
Yeah. I want it to get there.
Okay.
Quickly.
All right, you can do that. And not too long after that, Adwin shows back up, and then the rest of the group.
All right.
We've got comps for canoes.
Wonderful.
Now we just have to find some.
Canoes.
You head to the docks?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It is not difficult to find some. There are plenty of spots where people have all kinds of vessels that they rent or sell to people who want to fish on the lake. I would say you find someone who rents you 3 canoes, and they look solid. The concerns that Adwin had that were probably rightly maintained for certain vessels look to probably not be a problem here. These look like really solid canoes that are meant to carry people with gear and stuff. So
3? What do we?
yep.
I
3.
don't have upper body strength at all.
Nah.
None.
Right.
I'm
Yeesh.
not the ideal rower.
Each one looks like it'll fit up to 2 people, and one person could probably row one on their own if needed.
We saw how
Rowing
the cart
with who?
went. We saw how the cart went. That's all I'm gonna say.
So okay.
See it?
So
I can't be the muscles.
All right.
It's not gonna happen.
well, I mean, that's the thing. So I don't think Aiden and I are gonna have a problem rowing for anybody.
Right.
Yasnip, are you gonna be okay by yourself? Is really, or do you want to switch? How do you?
Yeah.
Brian just pulls up her arms, just like.
I'll be good.
My arms are like wet spaghetti
be-
noodles.
No problem.
Literal
Yeah.
chicken wings.
Let's give it a
Here's
go.
Well, here's what we can do. We'll let you set the pace, so that way, if whatever happens, you're not lagging behind, or we're not gonna lose you at all. So we'll keep up with you, and we can test it, like I said, in the shallow water before we go anywhere to make sure that we know what we're doing, and that we have a general formation and plan. Does that sound okay?
Your confidence gives me the bolstered ego to do so.
Amazing. Okay.
Wait, yeah,
Okay.
Snoop's in the boat by himself?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Because I
It's,
thought you
uh,
all
And then
came with Briley.
22
No.
deception.
Oh, let's go! Now I'm gonna roll
Briley
insight.
can go in any boat. Probably can get with one boat with y'all because
So
she
that's-
weighs nothing.
That's the thought I had.
Like,
Was I don't.
voluntary deception check
Yeah.
thing. Like,
It's so
also,
fun.
I'm lying.
Yeah.
Also, just FYI, I'm not insight checking, so I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Um,
it.
So, yeah, I think. So here's what I think. I think that Faye and Brightwing can go with either of us, and it
Right.
shouldn't be that much of a difference, and we'll carry on as usual. And like I said, if you set the pace,
Mm.
because we'll have the other two, it makes more sense that way.
Let's give it a go.
Alrighty. So who wants to ride with who?
Look, I'm not going to say
Choose your
anything
canoe.
because, yeah, just going to let this kind of organically happen.
Yeah, we know what's going to happen, so we'll just.
All right, cool. Brightwing,
Yeah.
you come with me. I was just leaving options to people, but if I'm
Yep.
gonna make a choice,
all right. You guys load up?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And you start rowing upriver?
Yep.
Okay. I need 2 things. I need a strength check from each of the rowers. And I need someone, let's say one who's not rolling, to roll me a d20.
oh man,
Oh,
You got it.
Natural 20?
Okay.
Ah.
But I don't know if it's good in that instance.
No, it's usually the middle.
I don't think it's good.
Okay, what are our strength checks?
I'm not going first.
11.
All right, cool. 7.
Oh!
I don't like being in boats, guys.
17.
It's a
Something you
pin.
accidentally popped Faye.
Oh,
Yeah, see,
okay.
they set in the face.
All right, so Yasnip sets the pace.
Yep.
And the other 2 of you work to keep up with your extra weight in the boat. And a 20,
100 pounds.
Leah,
No.
right?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Hey,
I don't like when
Edwin.
you did that.
It's a bit of
Yeah.
a travel. Can you tell us about that plant you had a tussle with 2 years ago?
Fuck me. All right, look. I'm just going to say everything now and just pray that Matt is just like, yep, this is the thing. Let's see. I'm going to take a look around the map real quick. Well, I was on commission in Castilla here. they had a bit of a problem with some. They called it like a shit. Some kind of thorn monster or something.
Can't hear you. You're pretty
Strange.
far back there.
I'm keeping pace with you, asshole.
That's the whole reason he asked was to do that.
Yeah. So, because we both rolled the same, I'm just gonna go ahead and row up right next to him.
No, I rolled a
Anyways, that was
17.
Oh, 17? I rolled a 7. It's just got really complicated now.
So like Yazip's all the way up here.
Yeah. So
You're
yeah,
dead.
that sucks. Yeah, I just go on to tell the story about how I fought a Leshen, I guess. Yeah,
Yep.
because they're
Definitely
canon
a
in this
thing.
world now for sure.
Definitely a thing.
Yeah.
All right. You guys row. Anyone who wants to roll me a percent. I'll say besides the rowers, which is I guess only 2 people. So Brightwing and Faye, roll me a perception check.
Ah.
I don't see good.
Yes, exactly that,
Does this
Leah.
count as nature
14.
environment?
Yes.
Okay. That's the advantage. Great. The better one was a 14 plus 7.
Oh, I was like, hey, me too. Oh.
Okay. All right. So you make your way. It takes actually like a good half hour, 45 minutes to even get to the part of the lake where the mouth of the river feeds in. And then you get into the river and start heading upriver. And I will say, Brightwing, with a 21, you notice a few spots similar to what Yasnip, your owl, saw, where there are bits of vegetation along either the edges of the river or sometimes like a long piece of some lake bed vegetation that reaches up. It just seems to be wilted and blackened in ways that are not natural. So you do notice that as you go.
I'll point that out to Eclipse.
Okay. You row for the majority of the day, of the daylight, without anything odd, and you make it quite a ways up the river. And you start reaching the points that you heard about where it's like the river is going down because it's cliffs are rising up, but it's not that the river's going down. It's just that the banks of the river begin to rise up, and it's slow over time, so you almost don't even notice. It's very gradual, but eventually you're kind of sailing in this, or rowing in this gorge, sort of. And eventually, one thing catches your eye that stands out. Off a sort of shallow bank off to the side, there is a wall. It's been mostly like rock and rubble and bits of grass and bush. You see what looks like a carved wall, smooth, maybe possibly made by humanoids at some point, but it's in the side of the cliff, sort of on this bank at ground level, and there is a sort of roughly hewn carved arch that goes above this section of wall. It's maybe like 10 feet by 10 feet. And you see in front of it, on the bank, strewn across the ground, several bodies. Small and that's what you see from the middle of the river as you come up closer to it.
Me or everyone?
You see it first.
Immediately pointed out. Over there.
How far away are we?
Probably 60 feet, 60 to 70 feet by the time she sees it.
Is there a bank we can park at?
Yeah, you could pull the canoes over to the bank.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
I guess, like, even before we get to the bank, Brighton's gonna jump out and start, like, going to the bodies.
Swimming?
Against the current?
Not
Yes.
the current.
It's
Like,
not a
as soon as
strong
we get
current.
to like
Okay.
shore.
Oh, as soon as like bonk, you're like out.
Not like the bond. Like as soon as we start getting to a shoreline,
To where you can walk.
wherever you walk. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right. And you want to go
I'm-
inspect?
Yeah, try
I
something.
want
She
to
gets far
scan the
away.
tree line. I'm looking for what caused it. She can be the medic, and I'll look for.
Okay.
Do
Brightwing,
I see cracks?
how
Yeah.
close do you want to go?
All the way if I can.
Okay. Roll
I'm not
a
sure
investigation check. An investigation check. And Faye, roll a perception check.
15.
7.
7?
7.
Okay. Faye, you
Okay.
don't see anything that looks like it would have contributed to whatever happened here on an immediate glance. And this wall, this bit of wall that looks carved, that these bodies are in front of, is in the face of these cliffs that are at this point, as you've been kind of rowing through this gorge, dozens and dozens of feet high. And this is sort of like a bank that's built into the foot of this gorge side cliff, if that makes sense. So it doesn't look like something from above could have easily done anything down here because it's so high up. Brightwing, you get close enough to identify what look to be 4 goblin bodies. And when you get close enough, you see the wall is covered in carvings. They look like sets of runes across the top, and then all across the main portion of it, what look to be large winged lizard-like creatures. With streams of fire or liquid coming from their mouths.
Oh.
Fuck.
I would imagine that the Quaya would have their own stories of these creatures, but certainly
I have a
everybody.
little wooden
You
figure of a
did,
dragon.
yes. You would recognize them to be dragons, which, to your knowledge, do not exist anymore. And
In my book, dragons were a big part of that book, right?
they were, yes. You read some of the lore of what happened with the dragons many, many, many centuries ago. With your 7, it's not, you can't quite easily tell what happened to these goblins. It's very odd looking. It almost looks like they were punched a bunch and then set on fire. It's very confusing. Do the rest of you come up?
Yeah.
Canoes on the shore.
Yep.
Okay.
Pull
Can
them
I
up a
Even
bit.
flipped upside down, even make sure
If
they
I
fucking
can-
stay. Like.
Is one of them cleared?
Oh shit.
No! Not cleared!
Oh god.
And right now his headphones go out. You gotta be
Don't
fucking
you do it, you bastard.
Dude, he's gonna be like, and you find the body.
Don't you
and that's
kill
what
my
we're
man
gonna
on the
call it.
inside.
So whoever else wants to roll an investigation check.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely got the book out at this point, and I'm just about to get started with my whole
21.
shebang.
Oh, now you roll. Now you roll well.
God fucking damn it, dude. I'm so
Natural
tired of
20 for a 26.
What are we doing?
Damn.
You have a
Investigate-
plus
stupid
6 to
fucking checks.
investigation?
Fucking
Wait,
nine.
Bitch, I
What
find
kind-
stuff.
What kind of
okay?
Neris shit is this? What?
It's a 6 out of 14, okay?
No, I know.
Is it investigating?
Level 4.
Invest-
Yes,
Investigating.
investigating.
Is it
My
16?
deception's a 9.
Yeah.
Can I do like a medicine check to see how they died?
Please hold.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Nice,
Faye rolled a natural 20,
For 26.
26. And what else was rolled?
I rolled a 9 for a 9.
16 for a 16.
Okay. Yasnip, you didn't roll?
21.
Oh, 21. Okay. The three of you, not Aedwin, it looks, and you haven't had a ton of experience with this necessarily, but it looks like an explosion happened here. There is a wave in the dirt. All of the creatures look singed and have been traumatized heavily by something significant. And the two people rolled above 20, right? Okay. You two, from scanning the bodies, notice amongst the sort of scorched remains of one of these goblins in its fist, that is almost just bone at this point, a small, well-crafted wooden rod with a sort of polished and stained mahogany surface that looks like it's been carved into scales, and this rod is topped with an intricately carved head of a dragon.
Right. Can I detach it from the crispy hand?
Mm-hmm. You can pull it out. And I will say, with your checks and being up this close, you all see this wall as well with all these carvings, and you notice along the bottoms, along the bottom of the wall and on the bottom of this sort of carved area, there are several other figures beneath the dragons, which are flying above them, that all seem to be in some form of like deference or supplication or doing something beneath the dragons. And there is also a hole in the center of this wall, about that big. Looks to be carved inward.
Can I cast light down in the hole?
Sure. It looks to be maybe 6 to 8 inches deep and then stops. And then it's at an angle downwards into the wall.
Is it the same width as the rod is?
It looks to be a pretty similar diameter, yes. And you also see words carved above each of the figures in various languages that none of you recognize all of. Some of you recognize some of. And that's where we'll end this session. And pick up session 14 next time.
Next time.
They got booby trapped. They got freaking Indiana Jones.
Or
Mess with her stuff.
an ancient red dragon assailed them from the north.
They got blown.
Wow, 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 wow.
Wow.
What a time.
I apologize to people watching the VOD. Your break has been deleted.
Yep.
Make your own break.
Yep.
You can pause.
You got
Yep.
this.
Now that you're at the end of the video, you have the acknowledgement that we are giving you the permission to pause.
You can
Right.
pause whenever you need. Please take care of yourself. Hydrate. Get your snacks.
Yeah.
It's too late.
All right.
But just FYI.
Just put it in the caption of the video, like
Yeah.
no break.
No break. No break today. So sorry.
No break till
Uh,
Excited.
Can we, like, actually, Brian, before you upload or send this to Matt, can you just splice in a little Always Sunny introduction
Yeah.
after Matt says, right before we cut to break,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just
yeah.
have it
Yeah.
say they don't have a break.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I'd really
And they
appreciate
never
it.
took a break.
Great,
This will
yeah.
be the first one that we
Just-
actually do an edit on.
Yeah.
Exactly. And incidentally, the one that gets copywritten.
But we do need to
Or
do our
copyright strike.
little end thing.
Yes.
So what would you like to
Favorite
do?
moments, and then we'll sign off. I can go first because mine was very, very much the Fae and Brightwing conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked
That was
our
fun.
little sharing of experiences. I think that was
Yeah.
fun. I think we're two very different people, and that's like a cool little melding of minds.
Big sense.
Ow!
Elf.
I didn't roll above a 9 the entire game.
Yes, that was
And-
bad.
Every time it happened, it was depressing. So that's yeah.
That charisma check.
Hey, to be
Mm.
fair,
Hoopers.
I wasn't looking for anything on that. I don't know. I was not trying to get a charisma check. He offered it, and I was like, okay, I guess this is happening now. And it just so happened to be the start of everything. The start of my woes.
B. Ryan and or Jess.
Mine was the Brightwing and Faye.
Okay.
Getting to chat and hang out. That was my favorite.
I like the above the table deception rolls. I think that's
Yeah.
Very solid.
I think
FYI, I'm
that'll keep
lying.
going.
FYI, I don't care.
Yep. All right.
Um,
Solid stuff. It was a lot of figuring out what to do, but now the
Yeah.
figuring out is done and the doing might be happening.
Also,
Sort of.
unofficially, Crater is getting moved into the Nemesis column.
No.
Oh, boy.
So
True. All right. Well, we will sign off. Thank you, everybody, for playing and for being around. And we will see you next time in
Happy
session 14.
Halloween!
Happy
Wing,
Halloween!
wink.
Halloweeny.
All right. See ya.
Halloween.